Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Broke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, changing. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin, crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have amazing space for you guys today. Space stream. Today is the final day of the Tokyo Blitz, guys. We've been doing this now, going on, I don't know, 14 days now, or a little less, but it's been absolutely crazy. 13 spaces. The Tokyo team has done something that we haven't seen before. They came into the Bitcoin space from the Cardano ecosystem, and they came in and they attracted all these builders to come speak on these spaces. What they've done has been remarkable. It's been fun. It's been a little exhausting, but it's been great. And definitely respect the work that these guys put in over there. And you know, they're a wallet. They're a wallet in the Bitcoin ecosystem now. They're a part of us, and it's amazing. But today, like I said, we are probably our last stream for this Bitcoin Blitz hosted by Tokyo Wallet. But today is Bitcoin meets gaming. Gaming, in my opinion, is going to be one of the biggest sectors in crypto. Gaming opens the door for a lot of things, right? And the main thing is skins, right? When you buy a skin in Fortnite, you don't own it. But in crypto, if you add crypto rails to something like that, you guys can actually get a lot of amazing ecosystem style of marketplaces, right? So in the future, people are going to be gaming and making a living. I know you're seeing that a little bit now, but it's going to get enhanced by crypto. And today we have some amazing gaming builders coming on, and it's going to be absolutely amazing today. But without further ado, bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How are you feeling? It's just been crazy last week or so, and then kind of get into the gaming.
Yeah, look, you know, it's been a really good intro to Tokyo Wallet and kind of their way of coming into the space. I think that was brilliant. It's a way to educate at the same time while learning about the builder ecosystem here themselves, right? It's all about education and knowing more today than you did yesterday, and that's what this is about. This Bitcoin Blitz is, it's not something new from what I heard too. Their approach, kind of when they went into Cardano, was also, hey, let's get familiarized, let's learn about Cardano and together and all these things. And so, I think for new people that are getting onboarded to the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's such a valuable resource for them to come in during this time and be a part of this, right? And so we've had a lot of attendees, a lot of builders, a lot of audience, and I think it's just really been beneficial for the space in general. And today we're talking about Bitcoin gaming. There's some people that might be watching this and being like, how does that even work? Believe me, there's builders here, since like 2023 when we started covering, that are still here. And there's ways to really, and it's more about like you mentioned, asset ownership. What chain would you want to own an asset on, a digital asset, other than Bitcoin? Bitcoin's that number one, in my opinion, in terms of security and all that stuff, and value too, right, in the future. So exciting. I'm ready to get into it. And remember, guys, Tokyo's been generous enough to give away 13,000 Doggo to the Moon tokens for one lucky person in the audience. All you have to do is, if you have an Apple iPhone, go to the Apple App Store, or if you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store, download the Tokyo wallet, and then take a screenshot of that download and go to this X stream and post that screenshot as a comment, and we'll do a drawing. But congratulations to Ingus. I believe I got that right, for winning. They did something, changed it up a little bit for Friday, because we had Bongo from the Billy community. So he won 2,900 Billy tokens, and I have added you to the spreadsheet, guys. And for the winners, be a little patient here, because we are wrapping up the Blitz this week, and so the Tokyo team will send out your tokens. I just got to get them the sheet, and I'm finalizing that this week. So congratulations to Ingus, and for whoever is going to be the next winner, make sure you follow those instructions there. But yeah, I'm ready to dive into it.
Yeah, man, 2,900 Billy. I mean, at $1 billion market cap, that's $1 each, right?
Yeah, at $1 billion market, that's the goal, right? The name of the token itself is $1 billion cat, right? So
100%. All right, let's get it started. Let's bring up Chaz from Tokyo. Chaz, thank you so much for joining us again, man. Love it.
What's up? How we doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Trying to get that Monday energy. Sometimes you got to dig deep, and then but you find it, and that's that's all that matters. So you find that energy, whether it's coffee or whatever. But we're doing good. We're ready to kick the week off. How has the Blitz been in your eyes for Tokyo's team, and what do you think that the audience has benefited from, and all these things? If you could give some perspective there.
I think it's been amazing. I think we've hit over like 15,000 viewers, listeners, or close to 15 to 20,000 viewers, listeners. So that, in itself has been validation for the whole initiative. I hope you guys had a bit of a rest over the weekend, because I was pretty tired. It's like, man, I need to cruise a little bit and just sort of take it easy. But, the fun thing is that we wrap this up and then go straight into Bitcoin Vegas, right? And that's going to be super exciting. And we have a couple of people from our team, Guido, who was on for like the first half of the Blitz, and one of our masterful developers, Chase, who's from Vegas. So it's a no-brainer for him to kind of show up. So they're going to be there. We're also going to have a booth at the inscribing event. So you can come get one of our teas over there, get some merch in exchange for downloading the wallet. It's not too much of an effort. So, and you get a pretty slick t-shirt. I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on one for a while, because they exclusively just printed them for the event only recently. So I don't know if I will get one, and when I do, it shall happen. But I'm pretty excited, guys. I'm excited for today's stream. Gaming is not something that you hear a lot about in relation to Bitcoin. People tend to, I think it's kind of at the moment, the three chains that people mostly talk about when it comes to like crypto Web3 gaming. It's Avalanche, Immutable, And lately it's become Sui. I think Sui's kind of toppled Polygon a little bit and really taken a lot of that momentum. So it's interesting to see, a lot of this going on the Bitcoin front. I'm pretty keen to hear a bit more from some of the guests, new ones, some who I think we've had some in the past as well from this group, right? Or
Yeah, I think Tiny Vikings, I think, was on a space with us. Yeah, they definitely were.
yes, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, look, the lineup is really great. We have Jungle, which was formerly known as Foxy. So they did do a rebrand recently, which was phenomenal and smooth. And they've been around. They're OG builders in the Bitcoin ecosystem for sure. We have Bitcoin Derby that's been making some splashes as of late. And Higuanna, the founder of that project, is an OG in the Bitcoin space as well. And then, of course, Tiny Vikings. We've talked to them, OGs for sure. And then we have Bitshaders, which has kind of come onto the scene as of late and really been able to market with some of these recognizable characters within our space. Billy, the cat, and then you have the wizards, and was it Bro Bear as well, kind of in there. So I think that was really smart for them to kind of integrate those characters. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it. But like, I don't know, what do you think about that lineup?
I'm psyched. I'm ready to learn. I obviously know about the guys at Tiny Vikings. I'd learned a little bit about JUNGL before their rebrand, and then keen to kind of get to know Bitshaders a bit. So pretty excited. I think it's going to be good. I think it's a nice topic, a bit of a change. We've had so many discussions. This is episode 13. Like, we're almost wrapping up now. I think it's a nice way to like vibe and learn a little bit. And I don't particularly know too much about Bitcoin and gaming, definitely. So it's going to be an informational one for me. So I'm definitely new to this, but not to say that I'm not excited, because all the guests that we have been doing some cool stuff. And
100%.
I did want to say, just before that, go download Tokeo. Yeah.
Especially for go ahead, Shizzy.
No, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, especially for the chance to win $13,000 Go to the Moon tokens, right? Like, who wants to pass that up? But
yeah, man. Yeah. The website Tokeo.io, guys, head over. You can download from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. But gaming is our generation, right? We all kind of grew up with gaming, right? My drug of choice is gaming. Like I don't go out on Friday nights. I sit in my PlayStation, my PS5, and play some gaming, right? So gaming has just always it's really a part of our lives, and I think that's why this space is really important today to kind of dig into, because this is something we all grew up with.
Absolutely. And I think most everybody can resonate with that. And so excited to jump into this. But without further ado, let's invite our first guest up on stage. We have Aaron, from now known as JUNGL, formerly Foxy. Aaron, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great. If you don't mind, maybe give a 2-minute intro into what JUNGL is, who you are with JUNGL, and what you guys are building in the Bitcoin space, and what sets you guys apart from other builders.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're building JUNGL.world, which is the next generation platform that lets users create games. So it allows you to create games with AI with no code. It also includes pumpgame.fun, which is going to be a launch pad for game tokenizing. Makes it easy to create for creators to build, tokenize, and monetize their games within an ecosystem, within a single ecosystem.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've known you guys for a very long time. We were pretty early in covering the Bitcoin ecosystem after Ordinals rolled out. And you guys are still here, building and adding to your product suite. What first inspired you to come over to Bitcoin? Bitcoin's not easy to build with, right? And then do you feel like it's kind of like this player ownership that me and Shizzy were talking about, secure chain with these assets, or was it new incentives or something maybe different?
Yeah, so when we first began, we actually began with Foxy.social, and it was an app that we were going to focus. This was before Elon Musk had purchased Twitter, and we wanted to make like a social media app where people can actually flaunt their NFTs, right? We had completely developed it, and then we ran into ordinals, and that was right when ordinals started making some noise, and we saw this, and then we were okay. We can use this fresh product, maybe for ordinals, so people can actually show off their art collection, right? So you click on someone's name, you'll be able to see their artwork, and they can flaunt it. We also implemented in ChatGPT at that time for people to use for free. And then Bitmap came along, and then we decided, okay, so I love gaming. I would love to give a utility to this, right? So people can actually have their own land, and then they can build something on there. So we went that direction, and we built. At that time, it was called Bitverse. Actually, it's still called Bitverse, but it was very simple. It was just a fox running around a little world. You can actually have like an art gallery and show off your artwork collection inside your art gallery. You could invite people to your little environment. And then I didn't think that was good enough, so we revamped the whole thing. And then it's now, as we play every Tuesday, well, not every Tuesday, but as we play on some Tuesdays, Cyber Striker. And now it's a shooter game, and we've revamped the entire Bitverse. And I showed that on the stream, on our last stream last week. And basically now you have like a metaverse experience where you can actually create your own world. You can connect it to your bitmap, connect it, and yeah, basically you'll be able to use it for free. Use your bitmap, connect it, create your own world, and people can actually create their own environments and games and monetize it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys have pivoted a little bit, and I think that shows, strength in a builder that is learning about this ecosystem, right? Building on Bitcoin is definitely different. It's not like building on Arbitrum, which has like, the whole kind of treasure ecosystem, or like, Shaz says, building on like Sui that has this like computation on their layer and all this stuff. So, how are you? Go ahead.
Yeah, about Bitcoin. Why we like our assets. So we believe like in real digital ownership, right? And that's why Ordinals is so popular. Bitcoin's transparency and security, of course, makes it the perfect foundation for in-game assets. So allowing players to truly own and trade and monetize their creations. So that's.
And with account abstraction, I feel like that has become more and more possible to kind of have Bitcoin be that layer to where, like, if I have an expensive asset that's worth, I don't know, it goes to value of like, let's say 20 grand, 20K, and it's in this game, I would feel comfortable it being stored on Bitcoin. But with account abstraction, you could technically have your platform, the JUNGL platform, or a game on there to where, let's say I log in with that a Bitcoin wallet to show ownership provenance of that weapon or asset, and then I log in with like my MetaMask or another EVM wallet to kind of do the gaming side, right? Like the computation. Is that possible? Is that what you guys are kind of going for with the asset side?
No, absolutely. Like we currently have some assets that you can actually use. We launched last year Bitbot, and Bitbot basically is a pet companion that will help you inside the game, right? So as you're doing damage to the monsters or the bosses, he'll actually go in and help you out as well. So and that is a Bitcoin. It is on chain. So we believe that the hardcore assets definitely is great to have it on chain. And then, as other things that we can use off other chains, so multi-chain.
Yeah, man. So going back to the rebrand a little bit. So Foxy was kind of like this game. You guys had a couple games underneath, but now you guys almost become like a studio with games underneath you. Can you get into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So JUNGL, Foxy was always an umbrella, right? Except now we have really organized this more because we developed so many things. We have over 7 things that we've actually developed, so it's a lot more organized now. JUNGL is basically, if you think about it, as like a Roblox, but for crypto. People can actually create their own environments and monetize it. And we already have a few of those environments already built. Bitcoin Derby is one. Cypher Striker is another. We're adding another game. We have a partner from Bitmap Studios, and they also have a boxing game that they've almost completed that we're going to implement, and that's pretty interesting because if you think about Roblox, it has huge revenue per year, and all these creators, they also receive, that they create a community, and they make money. They sell their items, their games, and then Roblox receives from that as well. So the same thing we're implementing here, but in the Web3.
Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. Real quick though, I just realized we have another one of our co-hosts down waiting. I want to bring him up. Ferks from Cha-Ching. Ferks, how are you doing this morning?
Yo, GM guys. Doing all well, man. Like, just been occupied with meetings since morning. It's evening here, actually. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's been a long week and a half, just really getting educated and stuff like that. But I appreciate you joining us on the panel and stuff. We'll get some of your insights here in a bit. Sorry for that kind of break in flow there. I just want to make sure that we got him up here. Aaron, so building in Bitcoin, hard gaming. We talked about that, covered it. But like, how are you able to attract new gamers? How are you able to keep them here? I'm talking about the ones that aren't necessarily native to crypto. How are you going to explain like how Bitcoin and the actual playing part works, and what's your strategy?
Yeah, so as of right now, we're focusing on people who are in Web3, right?
Okay.
That's who we communicate with the most. But the way that we plan on onboarding users is keeping it very simple, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be like this is a crypto game, right? We want to keep it nice and simple where we can actually just onboard normal Web2 users. So would that be with ads in the future? Ads on YouTube, as is for a Jungle platform or for one of our specific games. We can definitely onboard from that. There's a lot of YouTubers. There's a lot of people that do a lot of live streams, and we plan on doing some more partnerships with other projects as well. That's in Web2.
That makes a lot of sense. Just kind of making sure that you dominate the people that know how the space works first, and then have that onboarding strategy following up afterwards. So where do you guys have explored the scaling and stuff like that as well? And I know that's a part of your product suite with different chains and stuff, but like what's next for the Bitcoin gaming ecosystem? Do you see current trends or tools currently, or do you feel like you guys have seen from a tech perspective, like kind of like the limit of what Bitcoin can do, and that's storing assets? Or do you think, this changes and evolves as time goes on?
Oh, everything is going to change in Jungle. I was going to say Foxy, but Jungle is always evolving, and we're always going to be improving. So, we focused really hard as well on AI, right? So Jungle has actually created its own AI framework, which we're going to be releasing not too long from now as well. So anything that's being very new and the trend is direction towards that, we're always going to be the front runners for these kinds of techs. So
Love it, man. And definitely love the rebrand as well. I mean, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect for you guys, man.
You gotta do it in the is it Axl Rose's voice?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You guys don't want that from me, but
if you guys have time, I think maybe tomorrow actually we can show off the dashboard on the website, because I think it looks really phenomenal.
Yeah, we could do that. Did you want to get with us and maybe schedule something for tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought we were gonna maybe show
yeah,
off.
We could. Yeah, let's do it. Shizzy, do you have it up?
I can grab it.
Yeah. Let Shizzy grab that real quick. But as he's grabbing that, what do you feel like is something exciting for the audience and for your community that's coming up? And I know that the dashboard is part of that. We're going to give that, but is there anything else there?
To be honest, everything is just so exciting and amazing. We were quiet for maybe 2 or 3 months because we were really heavily developing all this, and we want to show this off. And I think the team has done an amazing job. But definitely our AI framework it's amazing what we're going to be able to do in creating games. It's pretty phenomenal. And our Bitverse, which is really which we're almost finalizing as well, is going to be really phenomenal for people to be able to use their bitmaps and create their own worlds and environments and games and monetize it.
Yeah, for sure. And Shizzy has the dashboard up right now. Could you kind of explain, what he's looking at here? If you could maybe bring that back down a little bit and get back on that main page there.
Yeah, my screen is very, very small here. But yeah, so the dashboard, you'll be able to, okay, so we're not supposed to share the link.
Oh, yeah, press F11 or...
John, run away.
Oh, no, I'm new. I don't know what to do. All right,
let me... we just wanted to give it a little tease anyways. But you'll be able to go into our dashboard and earn some XP and these experience points. You're going to be able to do some cool things with all our interactions that you can participate in. Gotcha.
Awesome. Look, we actually got to see that dashboard. That's why Shizzy has the URL in an early morning meeting that we had with you guys, and super excited. He the first thing, Shizzy's kind of hard to please when it comes to web dashboards and platforms. And first thing he said was that is amazing. It was clean. You want to talk a little bit about that? What you thought about it, Shizzy?
Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean, I do love the guy on the front. Yeah, I mean it's
he looks friendly. He likes the guy. The guy looks friendly, but yeah, I mean, I think
he looks badass. Nothing about him looks friendly. I mean, I'm not see this guy in a dark alleyway. You're just going to turn around, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so get excited for that, guys. The XP dashboard is going to be ready to roll out very, very soon for you guys. But Aaron, thank you so much for spending time with us this morning, kind of breaking down what JUNGL is bringing to the Bitcoin community and ecosystem.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure being here with you guys.
All right, man.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
I kind of got excited about the dashboard, and then it had to disappear. I was like, "Oh,
I mean,
man,
I could show it. I wasn't told I couldn't share it. I didn't know. You get people to send you links. You just don't know sometimes. But,
I was like, I want to see what comes next. I was just getting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap! I didn't know. So sorry about that, Foxy or JUNGL, but yeah, 100%.
So, what do you think, Shaz?
I think it's really cool, right? Like, I think it's important for projects to keep pushing and seeing what the product market fit is for them. They obviously started off as a single game. Now they've got like a suite. They're doing the tokenization element of it as well. So I think it's great, right? I'd love to. What are they live at the moment with the games?
So they do have the first-person shooter game that we typically will live stream every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's live. It's called Cypher Striker. Anybody can play. All you need is a supported Bitcoin wallet, or I think they also support Phantom and MetaMask as well. And it's kind of a clan versus clan on those Tuesdays. But if you go into the Bitverse, you could just kind of like Battle Royale, right? So that's really fun. And they really want to be kind of like this Bitcoin game builder like platform and framework for other builders to kind of come as well. But yeah, I think the whole educational part is like having these assets stored on Bitcoin, the most secure chain and the value there. But Ferks, what about you? Do you see that being a big utility in the future to store kind of gaming assets on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We're doing like DeFi, then why should we like refrain from doing gaming as well, And
yeah.
It's good for the overall ecosystem because like different domains are coming in. Now we got gaming, and but I just wanted to ask, like, is it a rebrand from Foxy what JUNGL did, or like how does it work? Is it a rebranding, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty smooth rebrand. They rebranded over last week, and then but it's everything that Foxy had built is carried over to JUNGL, and there's new partnerships as well. And so it's just a rebrand, which I think is clean, and that's what we have to look forward to in the future is some more products that associated with that JUNGL brand now.
Awesome. So that means Kimmy is associated with the project as well.
He is still.
Me boy, yeah.
Yeah, old boy, man. Like still remember those spaces, man. Like good old ordinal OG days. You guys used to have those spaces together, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Every
every
Saturday
Saturday
morning,
morning, man. Like I
Every
remember,
Saturday morning.
yeah, you were there as well. I remember as a builder, and that was something that was really cool to see grow. Was a space from when we first started. Maybe we'd have, 5, 10, 15 people show up to, hitting numbers like 150, 200 people consistently on Saturdays. So that was awesome, and seeing like the Bitcoin ecosystem kind of grow. But I feel like there's still a lot of growth in our ecosystem. We might have taken a little pause, but I think it's going to have a bright future for sure. But Shizzy, who do you think next up on deck?
Let's go Higuanna because we're already in the jungle. We might as well just kind of jump right into Higuanna from Bitcoin Derby. What's up, buddy? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
There he is.
How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Doing well.
Can you guys hear
doing
me
well.
okay?
Good.
Yo,
Yeah,
yo,
thanks.
Iguana, what's up? What's up? How's it going, man?
What's up, Perks, my man? It's been a while. How's it going?
Been a while, been a while. All good, man. So nice to see you always. Oh, you can't see me. Wait, let me just turn on my thing.
That's okay, man. I remember your beautiful face.
Yo, yo.
How you doing, Zushan? Shaz? I should go Shaz. How you doing, Shaz, man? Good
How's
to
it
see you.
going, mate? How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Good. It's the sun is shining here in the UK, and things are lovely. A lot of work coming out. A lot of output. So happy to be here, and you guys know I got the same sort of vibe as Iron going on right now because Jungle is our baby. Sounds strange to say that with another man, but there you go. So we've been working quietly for a long time now, and then suddenly there's all this output, and for the past 2 or 3 weeks, all I've been doing is staring at delivery points, activation points, and trying to make a calendar to keep the communities engaged, to keep everyone sort of slowly digesting what's going on. Because you look at Bitcoin Derby, and then you look at Cypher Striker, and then you look at Jungle, and everything is coming together. And so, trying to give everybody enough, but at the same time, slowly enough that everyone can sort of understand and accept the change with us is a big challenge. But as you guys have been kind of feeding back to us, it's looking good. It feels good. We had a live stream on Friday. It was pretty cool. There was a fair amount of people with us. We're actually thinking about using those opportunities as much as we can to keep more and more information, educate more and more of what today is possible in the world of Bitcoin, which we know it wasn't possible like a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know you're an OG in the space, but some of the audience might not know. So could you do kind of a quick 2-minute intro of yourself and what Bitcoin Derby is bringing to the Bitcoin gaming space, and what sets Derby apart from a typical game?
Sure, man. So for those who don't know me, I'm Higuanna. I've been working IT and software development for a very long time, so I'm old. Um, initially developing experiences for Web2, gamified experiences, the type of thing that you do like when you go spin to win or build this and collect these points to earn something, for a lot of big brands in the Web2 world. And then when I came to Web2, I wanted to bring this experience. I thought it was an amazing environment because you get to have a chance to have something that in Web2 you don't have anymore, which is to have a community, right? We know each other, although we are miles away, thousands of miles away from each other. But now and then we meet in one of those amazing crypto conferences, and it's like we're brothers, like we've seen each other for the entire life. And it's an amazing feeling that you can only really build when you are a professional on a certain area for a very long time. I managed to do that in maybe 2 years, and it feels amazing. I started my life within the sort of EVM ecosystem more as a trader, and then one day I thought, what if I could bring my Web2 experience to Web3? And then I saw the time of ordinals coming around. It felt like an amazing opportunity, and I am particularly fan of Bitcoin. I think that everything that you do in life You need to believe on the brand that's carrying you. I believe Bitcoin is the strongest of all crypto brands. It might have all its defects, but when you come to Bitcoin, there is something special about it. When you hold Bitcoin, there's something special about it. And if you can own assets on Bitcoin, I think there is something even more special about it. So I thought, what if we could gamify it? But first, I had to discover if we could actually run arbitrary code on Bitcoin. And it turns out we could. We saw a number of amazing meta protocols appearing on the chain about a year or so ago after the Taproot upgrade, after the Orno's theory ideation. And then suddenly, I thought, well, okay, so now we have side chains, we have L1 meta protocols, we have L2s. What if we could create experiences where people essentially own Bitcoin, can use Bitcoin, and can also experience games? And that's how Bitcoin Derby was born. So I was in Bitcoin Derby way before the idea of JUNGL came around with the Foxy guys. The idea around Bitcoin Derby was to create this horse racing game modeled after many other games that came before, but with a unique differential, which is the AI aspect to it. In Bitcoin Derby, you basically own these AI-driven horses that you can own, trade, race, breed, bet. You basically raise them as your own creatures that have a life within and outside the game. You can educate them to race and race well. You can feed them. You can mate them to create new little baby horses. But perhaps more importantly, you can educate them on anything in life because they can be connected on Twitter or on foxy.social and they can talk on their own behalf. You can educate them on any theme that you want. Let's say you love, I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about bread these days. You educate about any bread making techniques and you educate that horse to know everything about it and can tweet about it. It can create rivalry with other horses and say something like, I'm going to race tomorrow. I've raced all these guys before and I know I can beat them. Bet on me, something like that. And it's an amazing opportunity because content is gold. And if you can allow people to create content, play games at the same time, and interact with these creatures, these AI-driven creatures that we started as horses, but it's going to evolve to many other things, I think is a phenomenal concept. And that's what Bitcoin Derby is. Get these horses. They are AI-driven horses. Take them to tracks that you can also own and monetize because you can launch your own token, your own track, and demand people to pay for races with your own token. And you create a whole economy, a whole world where you raise these horses and you race with these horses. That's what Bitcoin Derby is. And now it's part of JUNGL.
Yeah, we have been able to learn about Derby before the show, of course, and we know that there's an inscription that gives you that ownership. So I know that you guys really are leveraging Bitcoin for that ownership kind of attribute that Bitcoin offers, right? But like, what's the plan to kind of attract and retain users for Derby specifically, right? Like, someone like, are you guys going after the normies? Are you going after crypto Twitter? What's your approach?
Sure. So there are two ways in which we tackle gamers. Right? First is the person that just likes playing games. You have the opportunity to own your horse. You have the opportunity to expand your ownership by owning tracks too. And that person can create that content, can use their horses just to have fun. It's a great experience, and we tackle a lot of the communities in the ecosystem that we are in by giving them the opportunity to own these tracks. So imagine, for example, our good friends from Pepinos is a whole collection. There is over 10,000 guys in there holding that collection. They can have their own track, their own experiences where if they want to, they can launch their own token and have their own economy within the world of Bitcoin Derby. So that's the first way. The second way is that as Bitcoin Derby evolves to become this part of this bigger entity called JUNGL, everything that we do is around user-generated content. I believe truly that that is the future of gaming as a whole, not just in Web3, Web2 as well. But I believe Web3 is particularly well geared towards that, where gaming will see an amazing opportunity to generate gains through user-generated content. Because ultimately, most people, 90% of people, I would say, I don't have the precise figures, are here in Web3 to be able to earn, to be able to own their own stuff and be able to earn. So when you have the opportunity to create content, and we all know content is gold, but creating content and monetizing content is very, very difficult. So what if you can own a game, which is an amazing way of generating content? You don't have to be every day thinking, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to tweet today? What am I going to show to my community tomorrow?" You literally log in, you play games. You literally invite your community to play games. That's all you have to do to stay up to date, to stay connecting to each other. What if me, as a normal user, I can generate that game? I can invite everyone in my community to come and play with me. I'm now connecting with them. I'm creating content that I can stream and I can talk about, and I allow everyone to monetize it. Because in Bitcoin Derby, just as in Jungle, every single AI agent, whether it is a character like the horses or a piece of game like a track, everything can be tokenized, and all can be tokenized in this amazing platform that the guys are creating that's called pumpmygame.fun. That allows you now to not only have a way of creating that content, but monetizing that content, which was something really hard to do. So many times, even someone like myself, you create a piece of game and now you have to market, you have to figure out how to put it in front of degens. But if there is a common concept, like a bonding curve type of system, like Pump.Fun, for instance, or Virtuous Protocol, in which you can easily put up a concept and people can very easily be familiar with the bonding curve system and see metrics like who created it, what is this about. Now your token has a platform and you have a game to back it up, whether it's a horse or a track. That's phenomenal. And this is where this is the world that we're trying to not only build, but tackle. And that's how we think that we're going to be retaining the next generation of players. Players, they are a combination of the degens from Pump.Fun and Virtual Protocols with true gamers. They see an opportunity to generate our tracks, to generate even new games with the Jungle AI framework that Aaron was talking about.
I mean, it sounds really, really amazing because, like, you know, the biggest issue with Pump Fun is there's a lot of people that are just launching, like, you know,
memes, right?
Yeah, well, and just 500,000 like however many tokens a day, right?
Exactly.
And so you're going off of basically, you know, is the big group of people going to pump this token today? But with something like a gaming launch pad, is like you can actually do research and say, play the game and see, hey, do I like it? Is it quality? Is it not? Obviously, there's always going to be speculation in those type of launch pads, but it's, you know, you can actually look for the substance there. But that's exciting, man. You know, super, super exciting. I have one question for you personally. So, like, you know, inscribing the horse, you know, to get things started, and then you said you can train your horse and all that stuff. Is it the original inscription, like a parent inscription, and then there's like you can update it like through recursion, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So, am I able to share my screen here? I can try and give you a little bit of a view of. I'll take the risk of opening things live and making them work. Let me.
Yeah, if you
I
just
watch
hit
those links though, bro. I found it the hard way.
I do. I'm long past the hiding link thing, so let me try and show you something here. Push. I guess so. When you first come to Bitcoin Derby, and anyone can go there right now, it is app.bitcoinderby.live. So Bitcoin Derby all together, app.bitcoinderby.live. I think you're not seeing my link right now.
No, you're good.
So you connect your wallet, and when you connect your wallet, it loads all the Equinox that you own. Yeah, and when you go to Magic Eden, they look like this. This is because your horse in the game, it can evolve. Okay, So it starts by telling you all the traits. So if you go to Magic Eden, you're going to see a whole bunch of traits. But the image is always this. And the image tells you two things. It tells you your horse level, which is 1 or 2 stars, and comes with these different colors. The colors are indicating the AI level of the horse. So 1 star is a horse that has a small amount of AI level, is normally intelligence 0 to 4, and you're gonna have to do quite a fair bit of work on that horse. That horse, you can educate it to become clever and clever every time they erase, or you feed knowledge to it. And then there is a 2-star, which is a little bit cleverer. I think it goes from 4 to 8. And then finally, you have the 3 stars, which is normally like 7 or 8 to 10. And those guys will have already an advantage from the onset when they go racing. All that means is that when you put them to race for the first time on a racetrack, the more intelligent horses, they will be able to dodge obstacles better than the lower intelligent horses. And so the more you race them on a certain track, the cleverer, the better they will go. So if the guy that has a very intelligent horse stops playing, but the guy that has a horse that's also clever keep racing, then that horse in that specific track will become cleverer than more intelligent horses. Obviously, if they always start from 0 again on a new track, then the guy that's more intelligent, they becomes better than the others. And when you click on them, you make the changes, you go to your horse, and you can learn a bit more about it. So here is my horse. I still have not named him. I can interact with him and see what kind of things the guy does. He's absolutely bare at the moment, but he will have accessories. You'll see things coming up like saddles and leg protectors, horse shoes, hats, and whatnots. And then here is the non-permanent traits. All these traits, they come from the Magic Eden or the ordinal. However, these traits is what you'd call potentially recursive. Why? Because in the very future, in the next couple of weeks or so, we are going to be launching our feeding app, which means that you, by playing very similar to pop.cat.click, you can ask your friends and yourself work on collecting carrots until you reach boosts. At some point, you're going to be collecting boosts that can then be used to enhance those traits. Some traits are being harder to increase than others. And that's the beginning of the entire experience. The next thing will be being able to feed knowledge with a box that's going to show you, okay, so what's the subject? Teach your horse so that when he connects to Twitter, he can tweet about it eloquently and you don't have to do anything about it. He does it automatically. It's the same thing for all the characters that are coming within the jungle world. All of them will be able to benefit from this jungle AI framework that myself, Aaron, Ordi, Kimmy, all those guys have been working on for yonks now. So as you can see, it's a long road of educating everyone on how to do that. And it looks sick when you go further into what you can do with these. Let me try and show you a little bit of what, for instance, the feeding app looks like. Because with that app also, you are able to see a different world that we are building for this. So let me quickly share it here.
So this is a perfect example, though, of like an asset you want to keep on Bitcoin, right? Like you're building this horse up into a certain level, and this game catches, and then people are like, that horse is going to win. There's betting involved, all this stuff. Then you want to keep that horse on Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Also about feeding the horses, is it going to be like how Pizza Pets did? Like you have to
no. We're not going to be.
Okay.
That's an excellent question. We are not going to be taking money from anyone to play. This is proof of work. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to tap that carrot, tap it hard. You're going to have links to share with your friends. You're gonna have links to ask your friends, your community, and we hopefully see communities fighting to see which horses that potentially representing groups of people will be the best fed. So if you look at popcat.click, you see a number of countries going up and down as people start hit that button to see who clicks more. And this is about it. This is about feeding your horse as much as possible so that you can raise those trades. And when you put them to race, you have a bigger advantage, because ultimately Bitcoin Derby has an element of betting, of luck, but most of it can be overcome by hard work, training your horse, taking good care of your horse, having the right accessories that will give you the advantage. And if you see my screen where you have this guy here walking around with the funky glasses, you might recognize him from Bitverse and the previously known as Foxy World. But this is exactly what you can expect to see: the worlds of Bitcoin Derby and Foxy merging into this new thing called Jungle, which I think
Awesome.
I had a
Go ahead.
look. I love it. I think there's a lot of additions on top of some of the horse racing kind of games that we've seen in the past. There's that AI functionality. You're bringing like these humanoid sort of characters into the mix as well. But interestingly enough, I think it was earlier this year that Zedrun shut down, right? So it hasn't been too long, and there were a lot of problems, but they also were very, very successful in that kind of ETH gaming run back in the day, right? So you've learned from that and like dived in quite deep to understand what works better. But in your view, if you had to, because obviously with this sort of thing and also other horse racing games, one of the things that will come up always is like comparison. All right, Zedrun was a blockchain crypto game, and they did all of this, but then people were calling them a rug and a scam because they messed up, right? And they were also the first mover. So where do you kind of see Bitcoin Derby made essentially, and how does it stand out for you in the long run, right? Like, I think that's a really, really important aspect to build up. And you've got those differentials, but where is it that I come in and I go, well, I was a Zedrun player. I've always been, a Bitcoin maxi, and I believe that when it comes to crypto, Bitcoin's where it's at. I want to check this game out, but I'm a little bit afraid with, what happened to my assets and my money on the Zedrun side of things in the past.
Yeah, I think this is where the whole concept of how the economy of a game works is very, very important. When you are solely an endpoint and all your activities are related to either spending your money or betting on something, and you don't have opportunities to either grow with the ecosystem or generate your own controlled capital through it, it becomes very difficult to have a long running opportunity. It's almost like if I go working on a company, and that company gives me a job where there's no opportunity for growth, or I don't have any potential ownership of that company. There's nothing that makes me feel like if that evolves, I evolve along with it, to keep me in there. And when you look at what we're trying to build, the concept is very, very similar to what we see in Roblox, for instance. You see in Roblox, you create a game, Roblox will take a potential cut from it. But as the ecosystem grows, your game gets more visibility. If you create a collection, you can put it on Marketplace, and a percentage of that will take from them, but essentially the collection still belongs to you. You can expect the exact same concept to be the concept within the world of Bitcoin Derby and within the world of Jungle, in which everyone that decides to create a game with us with absolutely zero coding experience, and when I say game, think at Bitcoin Derby level, think about it as a track. So if you can generate a new track with your AI capabilities, literally just by saying, I want to have a track that's this long, it's going to be raining, I can have 2 to 16 horses, this is going to cost this much, and you can only pay with my token. All of a sudden, you want Bitcoin Derby to grow, and you are knowing that that token belongs to you. So anything that you are creating, there is a level of control, even though there is a percentage that goes to Bitcoin Derby and therefore Jungle, there's a percentage of that comes to you. And that is, I think, is a big differential, not only on people believing on that ecosystem, being the flag bearers of that ecosystem, and also enjoying it, because instead of being that unison experience that all you can do is to race from A to Z, sometimes on that have nothing else for you to do. Now you have those creatures. You can spend time feeding the creatures, educating the creatures, teaching them how to race. The tracks themselves, they have obstacles and they change as they go around. New people can create and brand their own tracks. On chain revolutions could have their own track completely branded with cheesy waving the flag at the end of the race. All those things add that differential that makes it a long running experience.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a like an in-depth plan, which I think is very, very important, because I think Shaz has a good point there, you know, because with the horse racing and all that great stuff in previous cycles. But with Bitcoin, I noticed the builders, they're here to stay, right? And that's a big difference in my opinion. There's obviously some that, you know, fall off, but it seems to be less percentage. And with this plan, it seems like it's robust. But guys, real quick, I know that Fergs has to leave, so I want to thank Fergs and Cha-Ching for joining us and helping out co-hosting.
Thank you so much, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Yep.
See you guys later. Higuanna, nice to meet you. I'm gonna jump on a call with you very soon.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
We love when builders connect. And then a couple of our other builders, I know they're also on a tight schedule, so we're gonna kind of finish up here with you, Higuanna. Any final words about Bitcoin Derby? It all sounds really exciting with the jungle ecosystem, but I want to let you kind of have some final words here.
The final words is, guys, if you like what you're hearing, come join our Discord. Whether you are a jungle ecosystem persona, or if you are in the Bitcoin Derby world, we will keep on bringing you guys something new every week. As we promised, we keep bringing you guys something new to bring you, to take you through this mega idea, very ambitious idea that we are bringing to you. And I hope you guys enjoying the ride, because there's a lot more coming. Thank you.
Love
Thanks
it.
for having me, guys.
Man.
Yeah, of course, man. Always welcome here. And we got about 500 people in here watching. And so, everybody's excited about Jungle and the future of the ecosystem. You know, the gaming the gaming launchpad, exciting, all of it. We thank you so much, Higuanna, for spending time with us this morning. And we'll talk to you soon.
See you later, brothers. Bye-bye.
See you, man.
Bye.
So just remember, tap that carrot, tap it hard. I mean,
He definitely emphasized that. That's for sure. But we got to get this next builder up, because he's about to have to jump into another meeting. Did you have something?
Good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I got to jump off as well, guys.
Okay.
It's a call at the meeting at the hour mark.
Yep.
But I think this might be the last stream of the Bitcoin Blitz. So, but I think maybe we'll do something this week. Get Tokeo on, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We definitely
have
need
a
to
chat.
do that.
Let's have a chat offline. Figure it out. But it's been amazing. I'm gonna watch back, because I was interested in hearing more from Tiny Vikings like last time, and then of course Bitshaders as well. I think it's going to be exciting. I just have to jump off. We are giving away 13,000 dogs, so I don't know. The guys say it better than I do, so I almost feel at this point.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even bother.
Go to the Apple App Store if you have an iPhone, or if you have an Android, go to Google Play, download the app, take a screenshot of it, and add that screenshot into the comment section of this X Space, which we dropped in the chat there. If you look up and scroll up there, but yeah, then we will put you into a raffle to win 13,000 dog. Exciting. Thank you so much, Shaz, for joining us. It's been an amazing Blitz campaign, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you, lads. Have a good one. Catch up.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome.
All right.
All right, let's get more teas. I think I don't know if I butchered that, but let's add them to the stage here. Welcome, Moritz from Bitshaders. Sorry if I butchered your name.
No worries. You pronounced correctly.
Awesome.
GM, how are you doing, guys?
Good.
Good.
Love your caps. Bitcoin ordinal. So we are, in full house. Bitcoin maxis. Not maxis, but Bitcoin.
Lovers of Bitcoin.
Lovers. Yeah.
Could you do a quick 2-minute intro of you and Bitshaders? I noticed Bitshaders on my timeline, and I started really paying attention to it because I have some nostalgia connection to it. I grew up in South Korea from kindergarten to 3rd grade, so Street Fighter 2 just had been released. I was in the arcade constantly playing it, and so I love the fighter games. Could you kind of explain your role with Bitshaders and what Bitshaders is bringing to the Bitcoin ecosystem?
Of course, of course. I know that, we have, being grown up with this arcade and this Street Fighter, smash buttons. So, that is nostalgic. So regarding me, myself, I'm Moritz, co-founder of Bitshaders. I'm in the Web3 for the, last 8 years. I said crypto. I mean, as an investor, I went to, I get inside the ICO. I bought some Ethereum at the beginning to just get inside the ICO, but then we, understand in the 2018 that, Bitcoin is the right one. So, after, going down in the, in the wallet, in the portfolio, so we understand, I understand Bitcoin is, really great. So I'm an engineer. I started my career as an, programmer, developer. And then I joined a consulting company called Accenture. I was in the Accenture Customer Innovation Network in Milan, and working mostly with the fashion and luxury brand through Italy, Switzerland, and France, where most of the fashion and hard luxury over there. So working with them, I can say, most recognized brand all these countries, and especially in the last 2 years I was there. I was working in the 3D, let's say, Web3 strategies, and some big brands they wanted to get in the metaverse, getting in the gaming. Some others want the protection because some brands they don't want, let's that the biggest name in the watch industry, them, so they don't want to get inside the Web3. They don't want to go, to make a sport watch, but they want the protection. So there were lots of their NFTs on the market. Let's say they're named Rolex. So what they want, they want that, so they protect their brand. So no people cannot sell maybe fake ones, fake as NFTs inside. So different approach in the brand. Some of them they wanted to tap inside, some of them they want to more protection. So working on that in the 2022 I go full-time Web3. I mean, I started my own company with my co-founder as an introvert, which is a gaming ecosystem. And we are working with lots of layer twos, let's say Polygon, Linea, ApeChain, and others. I'm to be honest, I'm a Bitcoin lover, but multi-chain maxi. I believe that there will be, in the future, we don't have only one chain. We will have multiple chain, mostly vertically on different aspects. But we know that, Bitcoin is the one that we are for sure. We know that it will stay also in the next, tens, decades, and hopefully next century. And so how we get to the Bitshaders and ordinals. So we are based in Lugano, Switzerland, and we were organizing their NFT Fest Lugano. And Lugano, as you know, is a really Bitcoin centric. There is a Tether between USDT headquarter over there. At Lugano, you can crypto is a, let's say, it's a valid tender. So you can go to McDonald's, pay with Bitcoin, pay with Tether, and even we pay with Luga coin, because Lugano has its own coin, so it is really crypto friendly and full of Bitcoin maxi that they hate ordinal. So when we wanted to organize the event, we said that, okay, let's bring some people that we know that they are, in ordinals, and make a, debate between ordinal maxi and some ordinal founders, Bitcoin maxi and some ordinal founders. So we were looking at, different people inside, in the zone. So we find Daft Punk, Raf from the Deutsche Banks, which was one of the OG collection on the ordinals, and we invite them to the Lugano, so talk about this panel. And I would say that panel was amazing. It was full house inside the conference. Why? Because it was not just one person that talking about, okay, ordinals are good, it's a revolution, or other person said, okay, Bitcoin is this. It was a real debate. So there was one person that hate ordinal. There was other people that they were, ordinals lover, that they would say the ordinals need to be on Bitcoin. So it was full house over there. So we get to know with to the DAF and the Deutsche Bank team, and then we talk and we create a relationship, and he grabbed us inside the ordinals, and he said that if you want to make a real collection, this is fully on chain, it will be forever on chain. Where you put it? You cannot put it in IPFS. You need to put it as an ordinals. And then after lots of discussion, he said, okay, let's bring a really cool collection, really high quality art, luxury art to the to the ordinals. So we decided to onboard on the project of the Bitshaders, and we try to find a really great artist. So after searching, we find, especially, Daf. I can ask, thank to Daf. We find Danny, our artist, which is he's a really great artist. He's not an artist, I would say. He's like in a studio, alone. He's a one man guy. He's a 3D animation. He's a trailer, do artist, and he's also creative. So he was working, and he's working with lots of big brands. He's working with Netflix. There was a Formula One in Monologue, yesterday. He made the teaser for them, and he's working with Universal Music Studio. And we said, we convinced him to make his fine art and to bring it on the let's say on the Bitcoin. So we started somehow, last year. It was in this moment, and we started brainstorming to understand the concept art that we go to the Bitshaders. So Bitshaders is a collection that want to represent anyone inside the space. That we know that inside this space there are lots of people that they are Bitcoiners, but maybe they are they are anon, maybe they are, I don't know, programmer, they are miners, they are different professionals, they are doctors. So we wanted to create a collection that represent everyone, be inclusive. So we created the Bitshaders. We inscribed, I think about 6 months ago, the whole collection, and and this week finally we arrived to the launch. So this
Yeah.
week we will launch the collection, and we are connecting this collection, I mean, to the Bitcoin Fight Club. What is the Bitcoin Fight Club? We want to bring fun and entertainment to the ordinals. We want to create bring all the collection together. So we are creating this Bitcoin Fight Club where project can compete between each other, but with the DGen layer. What is the DGen layer? So before any prior match, there will be people that they need to bribe, they need to wager their money, and then when the competition starts, which is community versus community, and after one day of the match, so one community will be winner because they get more points. They get the bag of the loser community. So this is
Gotcha.
what we are building as the Bitshaders and with the Bitcoin Fight Club with a Street Fighter game that I was mentioning.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Like that was definitely a lot of information there, and I feel like you did a great job in breaking down your history within the space here. My question for you is how does the community get points? How do they earn the points so they can kind of win?
So they need to play the game and they need to win the game. So it will be a PvP game. The first match will start tomorrow. Tomorrow at let's say 6 p.m. CET, which is 12 p.m. I think EST. So it will be between Billy and Bro Bear. There are already people are put money inside the
Yeah.
but they are still adding money, and people are waiting also at the end of, let's say, when the match starts, before 1 hour before, to put their money in, because they want to know which community they go. So I can maybe share with you the platform and show the game. If you, I don't know if I can
Yeah,
screen.
so you do have to hit the present button there in the middle at the bottom.
Okay, let's go.
Awesome.
So okay, this is our platform. Let me know if you can see.
All right.
Okay, so this is the gamify.fun. It is powered by Introverse, and it is we are running a Bitcoin Fight Club. So how does it work? We will have the pools here. This is Bitcoin Bro Bear pools. This one is Billy Poor. So I can wager if I have some runes, or I can buy it on Magic Eden. I can wager that, or I can wager here. And how does it work? Is that okay? Until tomorrow, when the match starts, you can still wager. But what will happen when the match starts? So you can already play the game. So where you can play the game, you can download it on Windows, you can play it on Android or Mac OS, or you can download it on, you can do it on browser. I can share with you in browser how does it work. So once you get inside the game, you need to select the match, or right now we have the let's say practice mode. So I select the which side I'm playing. So let's say I'm taking Billy. I right now is just I play practice because still the match is not started. So I get inside the game and they will be my opponents. So I need to play and I need to score. Of course, right now which is the easy mode.
Crazy.
And also tomorrow, we will add the link for the iOS for the app, but it will be on the test flight. So we want to test it. So anyone that wants to test it, they can download the game from the test flight. So it is official. I mean, it's not official on the App Store, but it's official, before that. If in the ecosystem of the Apple, there is a test flight that you can test. So we put it public. So if you're not home, you don't have your PC, you have your, you can play the game. So this is how the game, works. And it's really PvP. Some people they're really, really good at the game.
Yeah.
And when you win,
I was gonna
please.
say, where's the $1 billion cat community at? Only betting $90. I think Bro Bear had like 260. Come on, guys, you guys need to have more confidence or play the game more there. But yeah, awesome, man.
Though, a bear versus a cat. I mean, come on. I mean,
it's
who's
$1
gonna win
billion
in that fight,
cat. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like
also you are giving away dog. If you go to the Bitshaders accounts on the Twitter, the last tweet that came out 40 minutes ago, we create a really great content. I believe that the DGens, the dog community, will love it. I don't tell you what it is about, but go there and see that who dog is, fighting over.
Yeah.
And it is, if you go to the Bitshaders Twitter account, you will see that I think it's the first rival and the biggest rival of the, dog army.
Oh, I feel like it might be pups, but we'll see. Awesome, man. Dude, that's awesome. I love that video, or that or not the video, the example you showed. I'm gonna definitely be playing that, and we'll share the link, in the show notes. But thank you so much, Moritz, and looking forward to more from Bitshaders in the future.
Amazing. So just the last thing, thank you so much for this opportunity. The last thing, we will launch on this Thursday on one of the biggest launch pad. And, we have closed all the collabs, but there is still, some collabs through our Discord, through our Twitter is running, some communities, because we have already allocated them that they're running. And if you want to get inside, please. And there are some OG also communities like, Taproot Wizard, like Puppets, like Node Monks, even, Pizza Ninja, we have included as an OG, as a second phase, they can, mint the collection.
Awesome. You heard it. Thursday, they're gonna have their launch coming up. We'll get some information from you. I have the DM open with you, so we'll get some information and share it with the community, later in our show today. Thank you so much, Moritz.
Let's go. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
That's cool, man. You can not only can you just play, but you can bet on it too. I mean, that's really cool. So
yeah, and the bear did have like a 6-pack or something.
Yeah, the bear was jacked, bro. That guy had no shot.
Yeah, but like I'm a Billy community guy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have a better matchup.
I did watch Garfield. That cat definitely looked like Garfield though, but it was
kind of
sometimes.
Yeah, we got one last builder here, but it's a big one. You guys are familiar with Tiny Vikings and Lars. Let's welcome Lars to the stage. Lars, how are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Good to be here with you guys. And yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on with all the previous builders we've seen here. Excited to see. I guess a big launch pad is, you don't need to be a rocket science, I guess, to figure out which one that is.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Sure.
The 2 letters probably or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But we know who you are, and most of the people in the ecosystem know you and your project. But for the people that don't, could you kind of do a quick 2-minute intro of who you are and like what you mean to Tiny Vikings and what Tiny Vikings is bringing to the Bitcoin gaming ecosystem?
Yeah, no, hell yeah. So, Tiny Vikings, we're a team of, handful of people, 7-8 people. We've been working on Tiny Vikings for a few years, even before the Ordinals protocol was launched. We're basically, me and my team, we've been working together for like more than a decade, launching several products, several companies both in consumer facing, but also in the let's call it developer tool space. So that's kind of how we ended up here. The world locked down, we couldn't travel around, meet handset manufacturers in China or public broadcasters in the US. So we pivoted to take our, I guess decades, centuries nearly, to combine the learnings about real-time graphics and video and how to handle media and render it on, these modern devices in cool ways. Put all of that effort into, our showroom, which is Tiny Vikings. And yeah, about a year ago, we airdropped 20,000 Tiny Vikings for free. a full free airdrop, like not like, hey, it's a free airdrop, you have to pay for the airdrop, like actually fully free. The mempool was about 15-30 times higher than what it was today. So that was, of course, fun, painful. But of course, we don't regret any of it, of course. And we're so happy to see people, both enjoying the launch that we did. We have the very lengthy launch in terms of reveal stages. So we're at the reveal stage 11 now. So that has, evolved from just a small 2D pixel art pod in space floating around with a runestone on it, to having, 7 other elements like a portal, a raven on the stone, a tree of life, a galaxy, the Milky Way, and a lot of like Viking lore themed assets. Before it now, it's a fully animated 2D character. You can just click the inscription. You can get a lot of different compositions of it, just the head, the full body with the background, but also now 3D as well. So I think that's kind of what our thesis has been since we built Tiny Vikings. A lot of people have been like, oh, when's the game coming out? When's the Tiny Viking game coming out? Our thesis has been that I know a lot of people who have built games successfully and not successfully. The common denominator about people who build successful games is that they built a lot of unsuccessful games first. And it's, to a large extent, it's like I tried to figure out, okay, why did the Rovio guys, they're from Finland, we're from Norway, we kind of grew up in the same game dev and like game engine scene. So I tried to figure out like why was there like Angry Birds game so popular compared to all the other ones they built, which were equally well designed in game economy and like made it available in the same marketing budgets. But it was all about there's of course timing, the mechanism of like that swiping thing on the Rovio or on the Angry Birds screen that it's easy, but it's also very hard. It's easy to play, but it's very hard to master. But also, of course, these Angry Birds. Everyone knows Angry Birds by these angry, cute, like why are they so mad? The reason why they're so mad is because these horrible pigs have stolen all their eggs. And again, serendipity and like all of these like coincidences. The enemy of the Angry Birds is actually modeled on the swine flu, which was raving.
Oh wow!
Around the
I didn't
world
know
at
that.
point. So it was kind of a very lucky hit to find like a common enemy that everyone hated at that time. And of course, it's a great game. So our thesis was that, hey, can we create IP that we can make go to all these universes, either if it's a 3D arcade game like Angry Birds, or if it's like a Roblox world or a Minecraft world. So that's kind of what we took pride in building these Tiny Vikings and the whole or whatever we needed. We of course don't want to build things twice, so we of course relied on a lot of code and that other people have put on chain, like how to do like 3D rendering. Like we had to inscribe a lot of tools ourselves as well to be able to do the high quality shaders and like lighting and all that stuff on our Tiny Vikings. So yeah, no, we've already started to see that now. So I guess one major thing that we announced recently is that we have a full open source stack of tools for builders on Bitcoin called OpenOrdinal. And that's basically a reaction from us. Our blood basically runs developer tools and building them. So we figured, okay, this needs to be a lot easier. We need to have like 10 million people coming in and flooding Bitcoin so that these guys that call us spammers, they'll really get something to think about when we open, so that everyone that can prompt an AI can suddenly deploy code on Bitcoin. That's when we're going to see spam. So that's kind of our mission with OpenOrdinal, is to make the same kind of moment happen when Apple and Google did their Play stores and app stores on mobile. So that kind of opened up the whole thing by just removing the barriers of like getting ability to publish and also getting the payment rails needed to support the economy in it. So yeah, the long story short, you can now as a developer call any Tiny Viking and it will give you back sprites. So basically the 2D assets that you need for jumping, running, crouching, basically anything to build like a Pac-Man or like Space Invaders or Mario 2D kind of game.
Yeah, I love it. And we've had you on a different space, and now things are starting to make a lot more sense to me. Because you've always been someone, when you explain the journey of Tiny Vikings as like heads down, you don't worry about like, what, like people are like, hey, we need this now, we need that now. You guys have a plan that's rolled out, and Tiny Vikings, the name makes a lot more sense to me too, right? But who would you say Tiny it's comparable to, like the pigs and Angry Birds to Tiny Vikings, or is that something that hasn't been released yet?
I'm sorry, what game?
Like you said the Angry Birds have the pigs that are their arch nemesis. Does the Tiny Vikings have something similar, or you haven't released that yet?
They kind of do though. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Okay.
I might actually need to restart my browser here. Or any of you guys straight into a new browser here to make sure that my audio is not fucked up with Chrome.
Who's this guy? Ryan Michael Weatherly.
Well, he says buy all the Bitcoin and sell it in 24 hours
Hell
from
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Matt says Norway representing.
Hey, Scandinavia.
Hell yeah. We had our Constitution Day a few days ago.
Oh, nice.
Or not, because I guess Constitution Day, 17th of May. That was fun. Let's see. Yeah, I know you guys can see this, right?
If you hit present there, then you should be able to share your screen.
Oh, okay.
It's in the middle at the bottom.
Let's see. I think I just gave it some new permissions now, so maybe this thing is not gonna work right now.
If you have a site, you can throw it in the private, and I can bring it up on my end.
Let me just. Is that okay if I quickly rejoin from another browser here?
Yeah,
it should be fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
All right, while he's getting that ready, let's get to some of these comments here. Felipe Servant says, LFG Higuanna, real OG, and black belt jiu-jitsu. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Didn't know that. Don't mess with
No.
Higuanna at these events, guys. Yeah, don't be a dumb drunk person and mess with someone that's a black belt jiu-jitsu. I think that's pretty good advice, right? Kevin B. Williams with a bunch of flaming hearts. I guess he loves this episode. Appreciate the comments there. We got Lars back.
Hell yeah. Avatar now, but yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, no worries about that.
See. So yeah, you asked about the enemies of the Tiny Vikings. So this is, these are just like some early experiments, but I guess let's see if we can reload that. So
oh yes, perfect enemy.
Enemy number 1.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good one.
So it's basically, the enemies of Tiny Vikings are anyone who tries to slow down the adoption and the build out of Bitcoin as the new sort of underlying economic rails. So, we have Elizabeth Warren. We have over here. I think we have. Another big boss.
Okay. Brah. That's hilarious. I love that. That's awesome.
Who's that guy?
I know who that is. It's Schwab.
Exactly.
The ex-WEF chairman or whatever. That's hilarious, man.
We have fun stuff like that.
Yeah. Love that though, man. Love that. That's awesome, dude. So, like I explained earlier, you're definitely about like your plan. I can tell whenever we have conversations with you guys. So with that being said, do you guys look at adoption with people to the Tiny Vikings ecosystem and retention, or is that something like you guys are like, what, if we build the way we planned, then that will take care of itself? What's your approach?
I think it's sort of, this is a slow machine. I think in general, I think it's gonna maybe even take multiple incarnations of what we are kind of building on the back end now, because like my vision for this is that a year from now, like anyone in the world should be able to deploy an app on Bitcoin that's as advanced as Pizza Pets. Like anyone should be able to deploy, and even if you can't code, like you should be able to have an idea. In the early days of the App Store, like a guy made $50,000 a year selling a flashlight app, which the only thing it did was turn on the light on the camera on the back of the iPhone, because the iPhone hadn't launched a flashlight app. So I think that's kind of what we're kind of looking for. It's like these experiments now. It's like it's so cool, fun to build these small experiments with the community. If it's just like a side scroller, if it's like a Pac-Man version of Tiny, it's like we have close to 5-6 games now in development, just very small games by the community, and some of these people have never touched code in any meaningful way before, but we've had a few game jams in our Discord where we just show them how to get set up with it's not that hard actually. And just a year ago it was kind of hard. You needed a lot of debugging, tons of prompts, switching out models and all that shit. I'm talking about how to use an AI now. And now it's a year later, I've seen, even initiatives that are solely a platform for people to come and build games with AI that has, there's like 13, 14-year-old kids in there now building, you know, hundreds of games for arcade AI, if anyone wants to check that out. I think it's on base, so it's yeah, not sure if I'm allowed to say that here, but for us, it's like, you know, I think it's a long game. We're kind of, you know, as we build out these things, we kind of dogfood it along the way, test our concepts, and then make sure that, you know, we create these building blocks and these pieces that other people can then, you know, do it again with later.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because you talk about like the early adoption and like the App Store when it was early, and I could see the future of the Bitcoin, you know, data storage side having you know, like a App Store, or and then like, you know, frameworks, like it seems like what you guys are trying to do. We heard JUNGL's trying to do that as well, and so you know, the future I think is bright because there's so much that can be done. It's just we're all figuring it out right now. You know, you guys are kind of you are a part of that journey. And so what would you say for the hardcore Tiny Viking community people, or, you know, people that are listening in that are interested right now in Tiny Vikings? What's something they can look forward to? It's my last question for you.
Yeah, no, I think we released a few things recently that I just mentioned that. So we basically launched, I think it's to my knowledge, the first rarity ranking tool for ordinals. So if you hold a Tiny Viking, you can go to rarity.openordinal.dev, and we have a good handful of, like, you know, of course all the top collections. So yeah, that's already something straight out of the box now that we launched a few weeks ago. That, you know, if you want to get in on a specific collection, this is how you know what to buy. If you want to sell stuff, this is how you know what to sell it for, and if maybe to sell it. Maybe some things are more rare than others. I've seen people in our tiny community using this tool and, you know, scooping up grails that are like, you know, top 100 ranking for like floor prices, just because, you know, people don't want to check all the trades and like do all this calculation themselves. But of course, a big thing that we're running now is like Bitcoin Got Talent. We have 50 musicians that have applied to be signed by Tiny Records, which is basically our on-chain music player initiative. So yeah, go check out Tiny Records XYZ. We've aggregated all the music we found on Bitcoin so far into a Best of Bitcoin album. And to kind of celebrate that, we're now, we have 20 semifinalists that have been played out over the last week now, basically. That's going to be made 10 by our judges over the next 24 hours, and then the 10 finalists are going to run, and 2 of them are going to strike a record deal with Tiny Records, and then have Tiny Vikings basically pay for their music to be inscribed on Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like this is like inscription and ordinal infrastructure to a T. Like, yeah, this is awesome. I know, I feel very confident that something huge is going to come out of this. So that's awesome, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. This is twice I think we've you know, had you on in a Spaces. It was the regular Spaces first, and now streaming officially on the show. So definitely looking forward to the future of Tiny Vikings and the entire ecosystem. And thank you so much, Lars, for spending time with us this morning, breaking it down for everybody here.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. One last call out though. If you want to, like, you know, you can buy a Tiny Viking now, come into the Tiny Discord, join one of these game jams. We'll help you, like, you know how to actually build a game and make it run. And we're going to inscribe the best ones into a tiny arcade, which we are talking to multiple other projects like, you know, BitBoy, Snoop Toshi, in interesting ways to get these games out.
I love it. Love it, guys. So if you have interest in, you just have an idea, you didn't know how to code or anything like that, these are the guys to reach out to. Head over to their Discord and get connected. Thank you so much, Lars, for spending time with us.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys. Stay tiny.
Right. Take it easy. Stay tiny.
Wow.
I think is what he said.
That
Love
was
that.
incredible. I mean, you got to remember these guys. They came to in Bitcoin when, you know, pre-runes, right? And then it's been a year-long bear market in runes and ordinals, and these guys are still here building. I mean, if you're building right now in Bitcoin, especially after the year-long bear market, I mean, we have been in a bear market since April of 2024, and these guys are still heads down building, and it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and if you do the percentages, you know, it does surely seem like, you know, more builders keep continuing. They find resources to continually move forward over here. I'm not saying, you know, there's builders that just grift on other chains and stuff like that. I mean, they do that on every chain. Bitcoin, we've seen it in ordinals as well. But I mean, these guys, man, you know, and the builders we had on stage today, they've been building for a minute. So I think it was a great segment, and I look forward to the future releases of these builders. So
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick 2-minute break and then bring back, go right into the on-chain hour for you guys. We got a lot of news, a lot of Bitcoin stuff to get into, and we'll see you guys in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the sex, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, Sam Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution.
All right, guys. Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. We're gonna get into the on-chain hour. We get into news, price action, roll call, and a whole bunch more, guys. So let's hang out. Let's do it. I wanted to, before we get started, I want to take it back to Friday and kind of go over what happened Friday, because I think that is very important to what's happening now. So on Friday, around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, Moody's, which is a credit for they do all types of credit market ratios and stuff like that. So Moody's has downgraded the United States sovereign credit rating from a AAA, which is the number 1 you can do, to a AA1, which is the number 2. So this is the first time in, forever that we've seen anything like this come out. The United States usually has the number 1 credit rating, and I'll show you guys this image because this kind of helps you with the idea. So high grade, right? So AAA is the highest you can get. And then AA1 or AA plus, that's kind of number 2 here. So what happened was you've seen a lot of stocks and stuff kind of crash, while gold and Bitcoin over the weekend did really well. And to the point where Bitcoin ran up to almost an all-time high yesterday, like 106, and the all-time high is like 108. So it got like a 1 or 2% away from the all-time high. And then market manipulation came in my opinion, and kind of pushed Bitcoin back down to about 102 this morning, and now popping back up to 104. But what's your opinion on this, on United States no longer having a top tier credit? Do you think this is a big deal for the US?
They've been talking about this for a while because of the debt amount that the US has kind of had, but we just never missed like payments on, interest payments or anything like that before. So I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it to be. I mean, let's where does China sit on that list? Right. I mean, who's number 1 now? I'm sure some Scandinavian country, that's at the top. I mean, we weren't number 1, obviously, but we were like in the top. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit, it's a easy reason to explain why, pushing Bitcoin's price down or whatever later, right? And saying that, it just hit the price, affected the price on Sunday. That was more of what you said, in my opinion, as well. Like market makers kind of manipulating, taking advantage of the situation there. So
yeah, so Bitcoin is really headline driven right now, right? Any headline can push Bitcoin either way. So what happened was that headline pushed gold, which you know, a lot of people jumped on that Bitcoin bandwagon. Traders went long, and on the weekends there's not a lot of liquidity, so it's easy to move markets. And so this was highly manipulated. We saw, you know, over $1 billion in liquidations from you know, on Saturday going into Sunday. You saw a lot of shorts getting liquidated, and then last night you saw a lot of longs getting liquidated. The only people that really make out in this situation are market makers, are the exchanges, are potentially, you know, liquidity providers as well, because then they you know, they liquidate you. So it's actually pretty insane. But Morgan Stanley actually came out, and investment officer Mike Wilson sees U.S. stock sell-off after Moody's downgrade as a buying opportunity. And then President Trump's economic advisor Hassett says U.S. debt is the safest bet on earth. So we are seeing, you know, people come out and say, this is just a company that, you know,
Yeah,
what they do. This is bullshit. So
I agree with that. I think it's a little bit, you know, overblown in terms of
100%.
you know, how serious it is.
Yep. All right. Tether, U.S. Treasury holdings are now on track to surpass Germany. So let me show you this chart because it's pretty nuts. This is the chart with Tether here. So as you can see, Tether is right here. You see Japan has more treasuries than anyone else. China in the number 2 spot. UK right below China. And then you're seeing Cayman Islands, Luxembourg, Canada, France, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, right? So, but then you see at the back here, the only one that is not a country is Tether. Tether has so much U.S. debt it is holding right now that U.S. can't mess with Tether no more. If Tether starts getting up here, where it passes like some of these countries, you can't mess with it no more because you don't want them to dump all their treasuries.
Well, you know, look how much China has, right? And you know, we know that they offloaded some, and you know, the administration is still, you know, giving them the, you know, hard line or whatever in terms of tariff talk and all that stuff. And so I think they all have they have a plan for if this happens. Now, if all of them together, like multiple together, were like, hey, I think that would be a big problem. Obviously, it would hurt if like China, you know, liquidated everything. But yeah, I mean, I think Tether's looked at more and more seriously the more that they continually grow this, especially when they pass a very strong country like Germany.
10 years from now, do you see a stable coin as the number one? Because I do. I see Tether beginning number one day. Just for the fact that I see a lot of stable coins coming in, and they need to make money on their money, right? That's kind of how they make things. I mean, right now they're getting 5% yield on the stable coins that they have, right? So it's stupid not to when more money comes in. I mean, I think Tether's going to surpass Japan as number 1 treasury holder.
Yeah, and like so many people give Tether crap because they're like, yo, show us the audit, show us this. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, look how many bonds they have, right? Our treasuries, and so them earning that is a business model, right? I mean, it's a business model, right? That's why these people have, and the fact that like the U.S. hasn't defaulted, never defaulted, right? So they know that at the same time they're gonna get that every you know time. It's consistent, it's formidable, at least it seems that way, and it has been that way for the longest time. But yeah, so I think it's smart that they did this. Really smart.
Well, you can't default when you have a money printer, right? I mean, imagine a credit card company hitting you up and you just have a money printer to pay them, right? It's like yeah, I'm never going to default, guys. I'm going to pay that for sure. But yeah, 100%. But U.S. bond yield surged to a 10-year high, basically jumps above 4.5%. So I looked into this a little bit, and I really didn't understand how bond yields works. But the more people that sell bonds into the open market, that actually gets more yield for everyone else still holding. So as you're seeing countries like China and UK kind of dump U.S. Treasury bonds, you're seeing the yield go up, especially on the 20-year and 30-year yield. So right now, if you have a 30-year yield, which I think Tether and a lot of other countries have, then potentially you're earning 5% on your money.
Yeah. Kind of, does it remind you of something? Like, you know, when people kind of take their you know, staking out, like the share goes up between the other people left in the pools.
Yep. I mean, that's basically what it is, right? Staking is the same as holding bonds. So
yeah,
man. But So this is big on a lot of different ways, right? This kind of goes into Tether a little bit, right? So if you're if you're holding stable coins, potentially you can stake into somewhere that's buying bonds, right? You might have to have a lock period on that, but you can take your stable coins now and you don't have to buy bonds, right? You can be backed by a bond and still have that stable coin and earn 5% yield. So I think there's a lot of money about to come in stable coins because of this exact reason of bond yields and safe yield.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why they haven't kind of tried to follow. And I'm sure there's like smaller, entities that do this, right? They just
Yeah.
don't have enough to be on this list, right? And so,
Yeah.
what does it look like? It looks like that's a business model to, you know, to kind of make you have like a good backing in crypto, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Tether's there, right? And also like they obviously have made enough money to acquire this, acquire that. They
Yeah.
have a lot of assets other than treasuries, and so they're making money, and this is probably this has helped them a lot.
Yeah, think about it though, right? So let's just say you have $1 million in stable coins, right? You can earn $50,000 a year on just staking and potentially having a bond back that stake. I mean, dude, $50,000 a year and like $1 million gets you someone's salary, right? It's safe in a very safe way. But moving along here, so vice chairman. So we know Jerome Powell is the chairman of the Fed. The vice chairman, Philip Jefferson, about the Fed's job in times of financial strain. It's vital for central banks to make it clear that it stands ready to provide liquidity should stress emerge. So you're not seeing Powell come out and say this, but a guy who potentially wants Powell's job came out and said that, hey, if we get into a problem, we have the liquidity and we will bail it out. So that was absolutely huge this morning, and that's kind of why you're seeing things kind of bounce back right now in stocks and everything else.
Yeah, is he doing this to get into good favor for being hired next? So
100%.
that's
100%.
probably that's what it sounds like. I mean, if you remember when they were looking for the next SEC chair, there's like a lot of people just really positive about crypto coming out publicly and stating it and stuff like that. So, does he do it right away? I don't know. Right. Obviously, there's a responsibility from the Fed as well, right, to make sure that things are balanced. You don't just do things on impulse or direction right away. It has to make sense. So, but it sounds like he's trying to pitch for a job here.
Well, on top of that too, when back in 2022, I remember a lot of stock guys come out and they said, the Fed has a lot of tools. Their number one tool though is words and what they say. So the Fed can move markets with words. So it does seem like Powell's kind of playing bad cop while Jefferson here is kind of playing good cop in the sense of which is actually a really smart strategy for the Fed here, because you have Powell coming out and saying we're good, jobs is a record low, inflation's dropping, like we're in a good position, we're not changing anything. But then you have Jefferson coming out and saying, but if things do end up getting bad because of this tariff stuff, we can come in with the liquidity to provide to keep the economy at a strong point. So I kind of like what they're doing here.
Yeah. And when is this the switch over? 2026.
So they will pick someone in January and he'll go in by like February, March.
Gotcha. So it's coming up. So
yeah.
And I mean, Bitcoin's definitely starting to jump up. I don't think it's necessarily directly of this, but maybe it is. Who knows? But I did feel like that was kind of just like a liquidity dump opportunity, because we're already back to 105 now.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was seriously market makers making the market, especially before it opened, right? We saw that crash kind of happen before it opened, and the market opened. There's a lot of liquidity. It takes so much liquidity. It's like 10 times more liquidity to move Bitcoin during these hours of 9:30 to 4 than it is from any other time of the day. So that's kind of what you're seeing right now. Nothing to be afraid about. Nothing even to be, if you weren't even paying attention, you don't even notice anything from yesterday to today. So So this is something that's moving markets as well this morning. Strategy has acquired 7,390 Bitcoin worth $765 million. A little lower this time. They usually go 1.2 to 1.6, and they go 765. They now own a total of 576,230. They are about 23,670 coins away from 600K Bitcoin. Absolutely insane. But what do you think about MicroStrategy kind of acquiring every week now, at least for the last 5 weeks?
Everybody's used to it. It's not that big of a deal anymore. I mean, I think they wait for the Sunday tweet or whatever, the Sunday message, right? But
every Sunday morning,
I think people
Noah
are just expect they're gonna keep acquiring, keep adding to the bags.
Yep. So MicroStrategy is in a little bit of hot water here. So MicroStrategy hit with a class action lawsuit over the alleged misleading statements tied to its Bitcoin strategy and $5.9 billion unrealized Q1 loss. So I haven't really dug into this, but there is a class action lawsuit this morning against Strategy. Sailor's kind of like, it is what it is. Like he's not even shunned by this at all. What do you think about this? Really got to dig in this a little bit more. But if this is legit, should we be worried about Strategy and the Bitcoin they hold?
So there's probably like multiple layers to this, right? In terms of the leverage that they're using with the shares that whole technique that they're doing, and how maybe like at real time this is maybe what it looked like if you did all the math that way. I don't know. I got to look into it too. So, but if this is true, then this is a way to kind of scare people to also bring price down, right? There's all types of strategies, and lawsuits is definitely one of them. Because that goes through, that's PR, right? So negative PR will bring price down, dramatically in certain cases and situations, right? I think with this though, it's people seem to not waver that much. There's been multiple instances where people have said Sailor has this, there's opportunity for Sailor to get liquidated in this situation, that situation's never happened. So it's kind of the boy who cried wolf, and until I guess disaster happens, which we don't want to happen.
No, not even a little bit there, but 100%. All right. So BlackRock's ETF holdings through BUIDL have surpassed 2.9 billion Ethereum in assets under management. So BlackRock has been acquiring Ethereum these last 6 months. As you saw, Ethereum kind of dropped from 3,000 in January. It might even hit 4,000 in January, all the way down to about $1,300. BUIDL, the fund that BlackRock allows its users to take a hold of, if they want to, they can actually put their money in this if they want to, and it'll buy ETH for them. But BlackRock has been accumulating, man, and they're not stopping. $2.9 billion in assets under management for this small fund that they have.
Yeah, we've known that's been the case, right? They continually just acquire Ethereum, and some of these other institutions as well. I think that they know that in the long run that it's going to catch back up, and so smart, right? I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that they're doing this with bad data. They have the best data access, by the way, to the best data tools. I mean, they win. They don't lose trading. They have the Aladdin software, I believe it's called Aladdin software, in TradFi. So I'm sure they already have really, really accurate forecasting tools and stuff like that.
BlackRock is 6 months ahead of everyone else, right?
Yeah.
BlackRock was buying buying Bitcoin in July of 2023, and then January the ETF went live, right? BlackRock, it was buying Ethereum before, and now they're buying a whole bunch of other altcoins. BlackRock is 6 months ahead of everyone else. So what they do, you need to be paying attention, because they don't do it in big chunks either. They do very small buys and accumulate very rapidly. So very smart traders in BlackRock. Scumbags, but smart traders. All right, moving along here. Colin Tar's crypto chart. This is something that me and you've been bringing to everyone. I think we were one of the first channels to bring this. I saw this like the very first chart that Colin posted, and we were talking about this probably, I want to say, in like February or March, during a long sideways that was back here. But now we're getting to a point where we've seen this coming now for the last 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks here, watching this during this period up until here. So it is following, dude. It is following like it is attached to the hip here. We are right here, as you can see. We are out here, and there's an explosive move coming, but there is a little bit of a dip that we are seeing on here, and we could follow that like we have, or we could skip it and just kind of move up. And it is looking like in the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to be over 130. I mean, if we continue this chart, and it does look like we are.
What would you say? 130 what?
Looks like it's going to be about 130, 138 at the tip.
What's the timeline
7
on
to
that?
10 days.
So it's crazy because like the 5-day prediction on Coin Codex for Bitcoin is 128 grand.
I mean, they follow this chart right now.
maybe right. Like, I mean, but then like I think there's a pretty big dip after that, right? You see
No,
right
it's
there.
sideways. It's sideways. I wouldn't call it a dip. So
where's that dip though? Right there.
Here?
Yeah.
122.
What's the timeline on that?
The timeline is June 16th.
Okay. Which is wild as shit because like 1 month prediction is 110. So it's like, it's following. It's like pre-show when we were prepping for this, right? Like I was looking at previous data and stuff like that, and the weekly chart kind of got me a little nervous a little bit, and I was like, well, maybe we have some sideways for the next 2 to 4 weeks, but why break off of this, right? Like the M2 has been very, very accurate in terms of Bitcoin and where it's going, right? And so look, I don't believe anything is perfect to a T. Like that's but I will say that this has been as accurate as possible. That so I feel confident. 128 to me, like I'm conservative by nature, so I'd be happy with like 120 or something like that. But we'll see. Look, it's followed the M2 money supply up until now, and I'm not going to break off of that.
I mean, if this chart continues, bro, we're going to see 190 up here before
Q4
July 29th.
Oh wow, dude, that's early.
I know. Like that's in like 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
Like what are we? The 19th? I mean, according to this, we're gonna be we're gonna be about 70% higher in about the next 50 days. 70% higher on an asset that is $2 trillion. I mean, we're talking $1.25 trillion about to enter Bitcoin in the next 50 days if this chart continues.
Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting times, man.
We're running out of time, dude. We're running out of time.
Acquire.
All right. Let's kind of get into that crypto fear and greed. We like to check this every single day to kind of see where we're at. We see where the market is at last night at 8 p.m. So every night at 00 UTC, the chart locks in what it thinks the fear and greed with a whole bunch of indicators they use. So every day I like to have Yagobi guess this. So last week was a 73, yesterday was a 66, and low 70s is my guess. Is my hint.
Okay, 73.
Right there, 71.
Okay.
Yeah, so I should have said a little under 73, but yeah, so right there, sitting at 71. What does this make you? How does this make you feel right now, being on a day? Last night at this time, we were dipping, or we were grinding up. We were grinding up at this time.
At this time, in terms of like whenever the meter came out. Yeah. So I can actually tell you exactly. Yeah, we were finishing that top actually. Yeah, we were starting to go into that top. Yeah, you're right. So that 71, I'm actually a little bit shocked that it was only 71. Because
I would have thought 80, 85.
Yeah, because it topped out at like 107, right? So that's what kind of brings me to like pump the brakes. Is I just remember when in 2024 when we first hit that new all-time high, 76, whatever it was. And then we pulled back and we revisited the 70s, but we never hit another all-time high until Q4 of 2024. And so, but this is different. This is a different year. And so I think that like we we could very well pass through, all-time high now. It's different.
Yeah.
It's this 2025 is the bull run year and all that stuff. So the M2 supply is on our side, a lot of stuff. So, I think I don't need to necessarily be so PTSD about that, because getting to 107 is like it's like getting so close to all-time high and saying, yeah, and then come back down. And we've seen that. We've experienced it a lot.
Think about how many times we touched 69,420.
I know.
Right? Like,
that's what I mean.
So, but yet we touched it and then went back down to 49 because Germany was selling, right? So, and then we kind of went back up. But once we passed the all-time high of 69,420, we didn't stop until 108. Like, it really didn't stop. I mean, we had like 3 weeks of the most bullish time. November, December, right? I mean, it was like 6 weeks of just upward momentum. I remember a few days where we had $7,000 candles, like, and now being in a position where $7,000 candle is only like 5% of Bitcoin. That's nothing. You can see, potentially a $15,000 candle, and I think we might get it. So, All right. Let's kind of get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are actually going to be dropping mainnet very, very soon, guys. It's going to be absolutely awesome. They're going to be on Hemi and they're going to be on Botonics, but first they're going to be on Hemi. Hemi is backed by Binance. Binance is this is one of their projects here. Hemi is a Bitcoin L2. They're going to be using a lot EVM model, but Artura is going to be building there. Artura does not have a coin. Hemi does not have a coin. Potentially by using Artura on Hemi, you guys can potentially get an airdrop. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Not 100% sure, but we just by looking, a lot of the times when you look in the past, it indicates the future, and I'm kind of seeing that with these guys and Hemi. So, and then they're launching on Botonics. Botonics is Spider Chain, one of the most sought after chains right now. It is doing some pretty amazing stuff tech-wise. I can't wait to kind of test that out. I'm going to be using Artura on that as well. But guys, go over, check out Artura.finance, and huge announcements coming in the next 2-3 weeks. Really looking forward to what Artura brings to the table.
Yep. I'm excited about that for sure. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, if you wouldn't mind helping us out on the YouTube side, smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, guys, let's share the space. We got 709 people watching. So thank you so much for the support. But let's share the space, get more people in here to educate. And then same thing on the abstract side, guys. Share that stream for us. But let's get into some Bitcoin price action. It's definitely going to be interesting to go over this because it's been a bit volatile, and we hate volatility, but traders love it, right? Because that's where they can make their money if they scalp. But let's get into some price action, starting with the hour chart. Let's see here. So you saw this Bollinger Band tighten up, and typically it will tighten once it's gone sideways for a bit, and that's exactly what we saw here. And then it did break out, and it starts to widen, right? But like, when does it start to tighten again? It tightens whenever we start to build back that consolidation and stuff like that. I think that's when that's what we're about to go through here for a little bit at least, because this is the hour chart. Remember that. So it's still the gap is still pretty wide here, but we have reversed from last night, and now we're back to 104.8. So I would imagine kind of, chopping sideways, get this tight again, and then wait for that next big move. But you can see we have exited the oversold territory on the stochastic RSI and just about reached the overbought territory. I imagine we stay up here for a bit. Maybe we, play around with 105, 105.5. The support and resistance doesn't look overwhelming one way or the other. The current price point that we're at right now, it's about 50-50, I would say. You can see here, and it looks like that above as well. There's nothing that's really just dominating on the support and resistance on the VRVP here, but yes, the MACD just started buy pressure. So like I said, I imagine I wouldn't be so shocked if we kind of get back to that 55, 106, 105.5, 106 range, or so consolidation with a little bit of uptrend is something that I think would kind of tighten this back, and then maybe second half of the day we kind of swing to the low a little bit, get back to that 104 or 104.5. But that's something that can kind of tighten this band back up, right? So that's what I see on the hour chart. On the 4 hour, let's take a look here. 4 hour looks pretty good in terms of setup. This thing has been tight for a minute. It hasn't the 4 hour hasn't really exploded and opened up because there hasn't been like like huge these are pretty big candles. I don't know why the band there didn't really open up a little bit more. It did tiny bit, but we haven't seen a gigantic move yet, right? So that's interesting because once we do see a 10,000 $15,000 like 2-day, 3-day period, I think we'll see this open up here. But in terms of the setup, we are in a pretty good spot here. You can see the stochastics at that 15-point range. 20-point is getting above the oversold territory. So that would have us going back up here. Kind of same thing with the MACD. You see the blue line is a leading indicator line for the MACD. It did look like it bounced up here, so we'll see if we can get some positive price action going here. If so, that could be good for the next couple days, right? Maybe we have some chop with a little bit of uptrend today, and then tomorrow is a little bit more bullish, and maybe we hit that all-time high. Hey, if we're gonna get a 128 in 5 days, we got to start somewhere, right? And so today's probably going to be that day if we do get there, or at least the very least tomorrow. So the charts are looking pretty good on the hour and 4 hour. Let me take a look at the weekly here. So I was actually I was looking at the chart a little bit incorrectly earlier whenever we were talking, because I thought this was the candle that finished this past week, but I just realized that we jumped up to 107. So we actually finished the candle green. So we just started the candle red here. So yeah, still looking like really strong. You can see here we still have that good space between the 50-day EMA and Bitcoin's price here. The Bollinger Band is widening a little bit, right? But you see all these green candles is probably why. Also, we just reached not long ago, I would say probably 2 weeks ago, into the overbought territory. We're gonna, in my opinion, hang out here for a while. Hopefully we get something like this, right? This is just the start, and with the weekly chart, this is slow. Obviously, you only get one of these per week, right? So it'd be great if we start to see this, and then that's what propels us up to that 120, 125, 130 range, and that would be exciting times for sure. But yeah, so looking good in all time frames for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Let me go to the others here and see what the alts look like.
Could you explain what the others is real quick?
The others is everything outside of Bitcoin and the top 10 blue alts. So you're talking about ranking 11 and up, and no Bitcoin,
Okay,
of course, because Bitcoin is number 1, right? So let's get this a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so not shocked. When Bitcoin sees a strong volatility, which we saw kind of the finish the night, we finished the week in the green, and then it sold off. So that sell-off obviously was detrimental to the others, right? You can see here this second that it basically gave a red candle to the others. But we are closing up this week's green candle. So hey, look, we go to 128. I think this chart's going to look really good, and we bounce back above the 50-day EMA. I truly do think that if we do go to 128 in 5 days, saying that kind of sounds crazy, but everybody's the data is pointing towards it, right? And so it's going to be very interesting. We could have some crazy days on crypto Twitter here in the next 5 days. I would love that, honestly. Like, getting to 128 would be amazing.
So I want these others to go up, right? So Bitcoin going to 128 would be awesome. But if everything goes down against Bitcoin, like we've seen in the past, that's going to be like murder, right?
Yeah, but
That's
it'll
going to be
catch up.
shitty. Yeah,
It'll catch up. Like for example, right? Even without like the super risk-on environment, like let's say Bitcoin's at 105 right now, right? It gets to let's say it gets to 115, right? And then it pulls back to like 112. The others, I think, are going to catch up at that point.
I hope so, because that's not what we saw in December, January. Right? We saw some sectors, we saw AI, we saw meme coins, right? But not
but
it wasn't like a pure upward value.
But we've seen some jump ups the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, as Bitcoin's gotten back over 100K. It's a delayed jump. It's not the crazy alt season that we all want, but it's recovery, right? And so we saw it in runes, we saw it especially in some of these big meme coins on Solana.
You see it though, but then it gets taken back down.
When Bitcoin retraces, right? When Bitcoin retraces, because it's like you get the benefit of Bitcoin being aggressively up. It's not the crazy benefit that you want, like a crazy all season, but it's still good. Like for example, $1 billion cat went from like 5 million to 25 million at the top this last 3 weeks, right? So 5x and stuff like that. But you know, as soon as Bitcoin has like a bad day, that these guys are coming right back, you know? So,
100%.
you know, that's why if Bitcoin gets to like 115, then I think we see like a pretty good, you know, thrust up. And that's why a lot of people have been taking profit too on these alts, especially the you know, new mid caps, the new, you know, these meme coins that have reached like 200 million, and they went back to like 40 million, and then now they're back to 80, but then they pull back to like 55 now because Bitcoin pulled back yesterday, right? So people are taking profit because they kind of learn that kind of, you know, until full-blown alt season happens. That's I think that's what the trend will continually be. But the good news is that, you know, they'll see a bigger push up of Bitcoin in the next 5 days, in my opinion, because this is so fresh still that they had this leg up. And yes, a pullback for sure recently, but like if Bitcoin gets to 125 or something, 128, I think they see another leg up higher than what we saw the past 3 weeks. But if Bitcoin crashes to 110, we'll see blood in the streets again. I think, right? So
crashes the 110.
Yeah.
But yes, say that out loud just sounds crazy. But
yeah. And then as you see right here, this is kind of perfect example is like last night, you know, Bitcoin, you know, pulled back to 102, and then today, you know, all the alts saw blood, but Bitcoin jumped up to 105 now, right? And if you go to the hour, everything's almost all green. Right, well, because it's
very low
kind of
green,
1%. Low green, but it's a delay kind of drag up, right? It's like, come on, guys, you know. And it's all about the continuation with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin has this continuation, then this will be more green.
We're seeing sideways. This is completely sideways, right? I mean, for sure.
I mean, look at this. So this was daily, right? And then you look at the hour, Bitcoin has gone up in the last hour and a half from 102 to 105 now. And we're seeing some of these bigger, you know, market cap ones starting to, you know, at least be in the green a little bit. It's not much, but it's a start, you know, like for example, like Crow's 0.6% up. There's nothing substantial here. It's 1.9% with Pulse Chain, stuff like that. But if Bitcoin continues and it goes to 107, these will get bigger. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the delayed reaction there. So that's what we got, guys, for Bitcoin price action in the alt market for you. I would say just, you know, hang in there. If the data is correct, better days are coming.
Yeah, man, hopefully. Let's kind of get into that roll call here. On this show, we do a thing called First is First. What does that mean? That means the first comment of every single live show, Monday through Friday, is tracked. And we track it here on a Google Doc for this one. And it looks like my man ASAP Benji was the first comment of the day. I'm slacking on this, guys. 519.25. And then we'll add ASAP Benji in here, and I'll show my screen in a second. ASAP Benji, your last win was on 5-9, and it is now your official 11th win of the year, man. Congratulations to you. Still in the running here, and I'll share my screen so you all can kind of see what I'm seeing. All right, so you see ASAP Benji now sitting there. Like I said, your last win was the 9th. You had 2 wins in a row, the 8th and the 9th. And congratulations to you, my friend. 11. And then we have Lackey Lukey with 16, Webdro with 19, and Danny Boy with 22. It is looking like it's a 4-man race now. But, guys, anyone can still win this. We still have 100 and something days left in the year. You guys can be a part of this. Definitely want to get on this list. We might even do something awesome for the people who make this list as well. But definitely check out everything here every single day. Appreciate you guys. All right. Let's kind of get into the rest of the roll call here. The roll call is kind of messed up because we have some Twitter stuff in here, so it ain't going to be fully in order, but I don't think that really matters. Sir Melvs is here. I guess he's part of the Foxy team. The Eagle. Shout out the Eagle. He says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Eagle. Savage, man. The Savage is saying earlier, I saw him say 95K.
Next week?
No.
Wow.
No. I'm just kidding. Lackey Lukey is here. Shout out Lackey Lukey. Mats is here. Shout out to Mats. ASAP Benji again. Then we have Chief Axel. Shout out to Chief AXL, our guy. Danny Boy, like every single day. Reaper, what time you reaping? No Reaper, Danny. Shout out Danny says, Dream Millions on Abstract. Get one before it's too late. Is this something that we should maybe look at a little bit?
Dream Millios, you know what he's talking about, right?
It used to be a meme coin. Now it's a
they launched the coin first, and then they had the NFT coming up after that, and obviously they launched. But you told me about the coin at first.
Yeah.
Dude, like I hope some of you guys were watching some of those alpha abstract episodes that we did with our channel and held, because man, some of the like Abster's at like what 30 million, and this guy
30?
right here, yeah, it was at 20 something
God.
the other day, 25. So there's yeah. So anyways, yeah, the abstract chain, and like what 2 months ago, everybody was crapping on abstract chain. Now everybody's like, abstract's where's that? Abstract's where's that?
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting my points there, guys. Airdrop farming that for sure. Let's see more comments here. We got Webdro. Shout out to Webdro is here today. Savage again. ASAP Benji again. Abstract is here. Kane is here. Spindrift is here. Mike. Shout out to Mike, my guy. Let's see. Igua is here. Shout out to Ingua. Savage again. Shout out to Savage. And then we have Osunuo. Is this alive right now? Yes, it is. You might have been talking about one of the games. Now I think about it. Do Not Disturb is here. Do Not Disturb. Nighthawk UXL, our guy. Shout out to Nighthawk, man. Every single day. Appreciate you, my friend. Felipe, he was on the show last week. Shout out to you, my friend. He says Higuanna, real OG, black belt, jiu-jitsu. Yep, 100%. And we did get to some of these comments earlier, so I'm gonna skip them if I remember them. So shout out to all you guys. Danny Boy is here as well. All you guys every single day. And that is your roll call for this Monday. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All right. Let me get rid of this comment here. There it is. All right, cool. All right, let's kind of get into the next thing here. So this is interesting because Bitcoin is now over $2 trillion asset. Is officially a $2 trillion asset. It was hanging around 1.9 and is now officially over. So it is sitting in that 6th spot. So my question for you is, can Bitcoin get in the top 5 here? If we do get that 190 though, we're gonna be potentially in the top 4, because if you're gonna add 70% to the market cap here, that puts Bitcoin at around almost $3 trillion.
No.
Do you think?
70%? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
Or do you think they kind of grow with it and kind of outpace?
No. I mean, look, app companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, they grow as time goes on, because they are the kings of TradFi. But the rate of acceleration of growth with Bitcoin will put them, I think, in the top 4 at the end of the cycle. Yeah, but I mean, look, there obviously could be, a TradFi boom, and I think there will be. We'll see how much it makes a difference, right? But eventually, the Bitcoin's gonna be competing with gold in the end.
200K Bitcoin, which everyone is pretty much in line with, right? So everyone's saying that right there puts Bitcoin at 4 trillion. Right, that puts Bitcoin at number 2, and Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to be number 2 to gold up until 2030, and then it's going to flip gold.
But like that's not accounting for any growth at all for the rest of these. That would put Bitcoin in number 2.
The average of the S&P is about between 7 and 9%, right? So let's just say these guys grow above that, 12%. That's still Bitcoin, still outpacing it at 200K.
Yeah, that's why I said it would jump into there, but like I don't know if it would be in that 2nd spot, because it was the all-time high of Nvidia, because Nvidia took the number 2 spot for a little bit. I think last fall, and then all the stupid DeepSeek stuff happened and crashed everything. But
yeah, I think Bitcoin ends the cycle at 10 trillion though, potentially. That's 700K.
Yeah,
kind of why my number is 700K.
Well, yeah, that's a totally different story at that point.
Yep. All right. Let's kind of move over. Okay, so I have a couple more things here. So this is from the Maxis. Jack says SAT's definitely the wrong term and is stopping everyday people from acquiring and spending Bitcoin. Nobody wants to spend their Bitcoin. Nobody wants to buy a freaking burger with their Bitcoin. We do want to buy JPEGs and meme coins, but I don't want to buy a burger because I don't want to be the pizza guy. In 10 years from now, we're going to look back and you're going to be like, damn, I spent, $26 back then on burgers and a soda. That $26 is now $2,600, right? No one wants that. Everyone, I'm okay with buying a JPEG that potentially could make me more sats, right? Because that's considered an investment or some meme coins, but nobody wants to do that. But he wants to take Bitcoin from 21 million Bitcoin to 2.1 quadrillion Bitcoin by having every Satoshi be one Bitcoin. So it's still the same thing. Nothing's really going to change. Just the terminology will just change from, one Satoshi being considered one Bitcoin. And when you have many Bitcoins, they want to say, because apparently that was a term that they liked back in the day, and no longer people can say that. Now it's just Bitcoin. But how do you feel about all this nonsense?
I think the funniest thing ever to me, first of all, you know how I feel about Jack Dorsey. I'll just leave it at that. But it's so funny because, they've been trying so hard to make Bitcoin money, is what he said in his last interview, that determines the success or not. Bullcrap, because you guys haven't been successful with it, and it's successful already. You know what I mean? And so I think it's so stupid because you look at the ordinals and the community, the Bitcoin ecosystem community, especially the new class or whatever, right? Since 2023, and they've been way more successful in terms of this creating an on-chain economy with Bitcoin than the other side has with buying your burger with Bitcoin. And that's exactly why he wants to change it to 2.1 quadrillion is then he feels like everyday people would be like, oh, there's so many. So then they can spend it on burgers and spend it on, sodas or coffee or whatever the heck he wants it to be. Right. And then also why does he get to change the name of something that's been called this the entire time? It's been called, the individual unit of Bitcoin is called Satoshi. Why does he that's the thing that I cannot stand about these maxis is that they feel like they're better than entitled. Everybody else. Yeah. That they're but then it's oh, we have the pure intentions and all these things. No, you guys are just as selfish as anybody that's trying to make money in Bitcoin at different Bitcoin asset classes. You're just trying to do it your way and you want to have control. And because you have all this money, you feel like you're entitled to that control. But if Bitcoin was truly freedom money, then that shouldn't matter. Right. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what this statement means. And that's exactly what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, you guys that have been trying to build within an on-chain economy and this and stuff, that's not the way to do it. Our way is the way to do it. But you guys have had since 2009 to do that all the way up until now. And the best you guys, maybe a coffee shop in Costa Rica will accept it. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Well,
and which is cool.
Supposed to,
which is cool, right? That's awesome. But obviously that doesn't satisfy you because you're saying there's a crisis. If Bitcoin isn't used as money, then it's not going to succeed. And so I just think that their way of thinking is just so out of bounds with that.
But the funny part is they hate ordinals and runes, and we're actually using Bitcoin as money.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I'm trying to say, dude. It's
they've become everything that they hate about TradFi. They've become the worst possible thing that is a hypocrite, right? They have become so just headstrong and blockheads at this point because they're not. They're no longer fighting for what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is freedom money. I'm going to be able to do whatever I want with my Bitcoin money. And if I want to take my piece of gold, because that's what people say, that's what people say Bitcoin is, right? And if I want to put my name into that piece of gold, there's no one that can stop me, right? So if I want to take my Satoshi and put my name in it, there's no one that can stop me. If I want to draw a cool picture and sell it to you for 10 times the price of that Satoshi, there's nobody that can stop me. Then just get out the way. Just get out the way. So
yeah, it's the opposite of they say that it's supposed to be freedom. You know what I mean? And all this stuff. And
it's like Bitcoin's freedom, but not the chain. The chain's not freedom. It's like get out of here. Get out of here. But all right, a few more things here. Solana dominates DEX activity, topping all chains in weekly volume for 5 weeks in a row. Solana, man, it's the winner of this cycle. I mean, right? I mean, I was thinking about that earlier this weekend. I was like, if I had to, for so far this bull run, if I had to say the top 3 winners are obviously Bitcoin, Solana, and Sui, right? Would you agree with that? That they're the biggest winners so far this ecosystem? I mean, this bull market.
Yeah. So far, in terms, I know TVL is higher on Ethereum, but like actually, recently I've kind of dived back into Solana's ecosystem, and it reminds me exactly of 2021. DeFi on Ethereum, to where you have the meme coins. Obviously, it's been more intense in terms of meme coins because of Pump Fund, but like you have like this whole other sector of utility projects that like are also launching consistently week after week or whatever, and it just reminds me so much of it, right? So it's taken that on-chain user activity winner, and then and Sui's like that new thing. Sui's kind of playing Solana's role last cycle. Remember, Solana was like coming up, hey, this is cool, this is fast, this is there, and cool projects on there like the stepper or whatever the heck it was, and then the helium and all these things. And so Sui's kind of playing, so it's rotated. It's like Solana's taking ETH's role, Sui's kind of taking Solana's role.
Where did ETH go?
I mean, at the end of the day, though, it still does have all that TVL on there, so it's like, I don't know, we'll see.
ETH kind of became Bitcoin, right? Where it's just like
a little bit
on the sense of just being the asset that is potentially could be a store of value, right? I mean,
I even feel like there's like more excitement building on Bitcoin than there's Ethereum right now, right?
Well, that's not true, because we just mentioned Abstract, and Abstract's on Ethereum, right? So that's what people keep forgetting. There's a lot of bait. Everyone's saying base, and they're going to tokenize all these assets. That's still Ethereum. And Sony, they're building on Ethereum.
But for some reason it's not. Some reason it's not benefiting Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like from a like investor standpoint, right?
It's because you have to know who's here right now. Gamblers, right? Speculate. There's not, so the real users aren't here yet, but we're going to see them come in the next couple of years, and we're going to see, and the invisible hand is going to pick the winner, right? The invisible hand. So we'll see if that ends up being Ethereum. So I mean, 100%. So
I mean, and then there's real world like protocols and stuff that are in the EVM network for sure. I mean, Courtyard is crushing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guarantee like there 801 people viewed our stream, and I bet you like less than 5% know what Courtyard is. But like because they're a straight up business model, and they're making profit, and they're doing damn good. $15 million a week right now. That's pretty good for doing bringing Web 2 into Web 3 and quietly doing it. So what that tells me also is that, like, look, guys, builders, it's not all about who's here right now. If you have a solid business model in regular world, you can combine and just have options for all who's here and then new people, who's here and new people. And you might get more new people than who's here.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's jump in to some Bitcoin ecosystem stuff here. So I have the first thing here is the CEO of Kraken just added dog to his X bio for no reason, and has been teasing a potential dog listing, right? So recently in the past, this has just been, we had the CMO actually come out and talk about dog, but not the CEO. And let me show my screen here, because this is kind of what it looks like now in his bio. I think this is a big deal. I think dog gets listed in next week or so. Like this is the
CEO,
the CEO, co-founder, whatever you want to call him. He is the co-CEO, but he has dog now.
Hold on.
Early protocols to launch to list dog.
Wait. Work with founders from early stage companies to IPO and early protocols to launch. I mean, like, bro, if they don't list it, like at this point, they're gonna get a lawsuit sent to them. No, I'm just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like how much can you tease?
Yeah.
But that doesn't say CEO though.
He Kraken is though. He's co-CEO. Yeah,
co-CEO. So he was the founder and probably stepped back as CEO, but still has the.
Here's a tweet here. The CEO of Tier 1 Stacks Kraken just added dog to his X bio.
I mean,
I
mean, if they don't list at this point, they're like manipulating people.
But so we do know that runes are not easy to
To
add
work
to
with?
an exchange. No, not to work with, to add to an exchange, because you need to run your own indexer, right? If you're an exchange and you're depending on someone else's indexer, I
No
think that
good.
is a mistake. I
Yeah.
think you need to run your own indexer and make sure everything's indexed correctly.
And
The
uptime.
more indexer, 100%. And the more indexers you have on the network, the better and more decentralized that network is. So we do need Binance to have their own. We need Kraken to have their own. Coinbase to have their own. Obviously, Or.io to have their own. Magic Eden to have their own. We need a lot different indexers, but all kind of cooperating together to make sure that everything is legit, because we do know that like Bitcoin is different because we're not like a ERC20. Our tokens are in the what is that called, the area of Bitcoin,
Opportune?
Opportune. So we have to make sure that that inscription or whatever that is in the Opportune is legit as always, to make sure everything's good. So I think they've been working on their indexer, and it does take time no matter how big you are. And I think that once the indexer is done, that is when you're going to see many runes, not just dog, land on Kraken.
Yeah, and then that's at that point, like, no excuse, right? And I'm
Yeah.
almost kind of like, are they just waiting for like Arch to launch? You know what I mean? It could be, right? It could be.
Well, even when if Arch launches, then you're gonna have to wait another probably a little while, because Arch, you're gonna have to have Arch like indexers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they never.
I wonder
launch.
if it's because they know that there's going to be probably concentrated liquidity pools and stuff like that, and so they're
Yeah.
like, the hype can help each other, and it'll be like perfect for like a centralized exchange to launch at that point. And you
Yeah.
know, I mean, something's happening because Liquidium's getting a ton of attention right now.
Yeah,
Like
it's
market
actually the
cap
next
wise.
thing. Yeah, 100%. And how do you feel about if Kraken lists the Solana token, though? Would that?
No, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, you don't like that.
It would not be good.
Why?
Yeah, because it's not, you're listing a SPL 20. You're not listing an actual technical rune from a technical
1-to-1.
perspective, though. Yeah, it's just not. It's not. I know that, like,
Depending on
I know that
Server,
like there've been builders that have brought that up, and I
Yeah.
think like a year ago, maybe that would have been okay. But then guess what, though? Like, if you would have like asked people about it, and that would have been a part of a conversation. I think that, like, oh, you know, dog is actually an ERC20, or dog
No.
is actually this and stuff. So you're not really giving credit to the protocol, right? And I think that's where the problem would exist.
Gotcha.
You know, and so if they actually launch or you know, list runes like the Dog to the Moon runes, now you have a big tier one that has actually used the tech to onboard runes, like, you know.
Yeah.
And now it opens the gates to, and then Kraken has a big enough brand in the US and I think globally to
Yeah.
say, okay, we're following them. We're following them.
Yeah.
We're following them.
I mean, you're seeing the CMO is in November, December, and now the CEO here in May.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about goddamn time, right? So, but we'll see. But breaking news, man. So I just saw it right here come up my feed. It's JP Morgan to allow clients to buy Bitcoin through the bank for the first time. But Jamie Dimon also came out and said, "I'm not a fan of Bitcoin."
Wait,
come on.
So JP Morgan is
on.
allowing their clients to purchase pet rocks? Because
Yeah, I mean, apparently you can buy a pet rock. Actually, you can't buy a JPEG pet rock yet, but they do actually have Bitcoin rocks. But no,
those are expensive though too.
We shut out Raktoshi, but yeah, man. I don't know. This just came across the feed here, but I mean, we do know that you can. I mean, you can just you can just go online, potentially your JP Morgan account, and buy Bitcoin with it. How do you feel about that?
That's pretty cool. I mean, you don't have to have like a advisor or anything. You can just, anybody could do it.
As of right now, you probably do need an advisor, but in the future, they want you to be able to buy it from your app.
Gotcha.
Very similar to how PayPal works. Yeah, but you can't like remove it or anything, right? It'll be custodianed by JP Morgan. So
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a big step. He's, you know, it's kind of like when Larry Fink said that, you know, they were supportive of Bitcoin in the ETF. So
yep. All right, guys. So it is Monday, and we normally have the great Jeff from Merlin Chain join us, but he is on a plane doing secret duties that he will not tell us about. But he was very in our meeting this week. He was very secretive about a lot of stuff that's going on. So we're curious to see. Next Monday he'll be joining us, and we're curious to kind of find out what he's going to be doing this week. So, but he asked us to kind of showcase the Wizard and what they have updated. And this is pretty amazing. Don't sleep on Merlin Chain. Like I understand if you've been with us in this bear market that we've been into in the Bitcoin ecosystem, you know, the L2s have suffered more than most. Merlin has suffered a lot of that as well, but there's a lot of building happening, and we're seeing a lot of teams actually go there and build. We actually are helping a few other teams build there as well. But we want you guys to make sure you're not sleeping on something that could potentially, I'm not saying buy the coin. I'm not saying do anything. I'm just saying just
pay attention.
Just pay attention. If you got to pay anything, pay attention, and definitely check out. So this is one of the few chains that I've seen so far actually have a full on AI for the entire chain, right? This guy is going to be helping you do basically everything with Merlin Chain. You're going to be able to do pretty much, how do I add liquidity? Please swap one Merl to party for me. You're going to be able to do a lot of really cool stuff, just like how you're able to do with Emblem Vault, but for the entire chain. And that's what the Wizard 0.3 is building here. Let me sign into my account here. What do you have you used the Wizard yet? And what's kind of some of your experience if you have?
So I did play around with it a little bit when it was before V0.3 was released, but you know, I remember kind of some of the basic functions, right? Swap and stake and stuff like that is what they're really trying to perfect. And it makes sense, right? You want to get the basic functions down for DeFi before you try to do anything more in depth, which I do know that stuff like, you know, conditional trading is on the way. It's going to be a future version, of course, but this is the direction that DeFi is heading. You know, you've seen it with Emblem Vault, with Agent Hustle getting a ton of attention. You're going to be able to use a lot of these AIs as actually like really good research assistants. You know, that's what I've been kind of doing is using it for research purposes, and that's no different here, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. And I just see here, I said buy 100 Merl for me. I have about $17 in my test wallet here. And please tell me which token you want me to swap for. I'm going to say the MREL token. And then the spell has been cast, generating magical answer. Very similar to how, you know, with Emblem is with Agent Hustle. But like I said, this is
because I think it's because you're it's asking you what you want to use to buy it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
what
swap?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
It might have to be wrap BTC. So and that's one thing too.
It just says BTC in my wallet. So
gotcha. And that's also one thing too, is that you see, that's what it says right there. One or more of the tokens you're saying right there. So maybe it says please use only Merl, MBTC, or Party. So maybe right now those are the three that you can do. So what do you have Merl in there?
No, I don't. Not in this one. No,
that's not going to work either. You have to actually have MBTC, not the you know, regular BTC. So you have to have MBTC on there. So they're still at that stage where they have the three tokens designated. Gotcha. Yeah. So what you would do here is, if you have Merl, you would use Merl to swap for MBTC or Party.
Yeah,
is a way to do it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you sure though? Because I think BTC is just called MBTC over here now. I don't think there's two anymore. I think maybe I just didn't have the dash. We'll find out right now. The spell has been cast. Yeah, so it's just kind of making me want have things. So sorry, but please tell me which token you want to swap. But yeah.
Yep. And then there's tons of, I think there's like a couple different protocols where you can stake your MBTC, so you can earn off of that as well. Mr. Unfiltered is asking who uses Merlin. Also, you can help secure the chain with proof of stake as well. So there's a couple different things you can do there. We know that there's an RWA project that's going to be launching on Merlin that's, you know, similar to a project we mentioned earlier. So there's definitely stuff that's coming, and we will also you know, kind of dive into that once they're closer to launch, because I'm telling you, it's a big one, and it has to do with I'll say collectibles and stuff like that. But you know, we know that is definitely coming to the Merlin chain as well. So if you want to swap for those three, utilize it. Utilize the wizard, the AI wizard, because eventually what they'll do is you'll be able to stake stuff as well, and you just get familiar with it, right? Because every version has a new function that gets released. So
yeah, and to him, I mean, think about there's like $6 billion worth of wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. There is, you know what I mean? So saying you sound chain maximalist here, man. Like it's really a shitty comment, honestly. But like, so with Merle as well, you're missing out on a lot of arbitrage opportunities. Like, yeah, let's just say dog goes up on Bitcoin layer 1, you can buy dog and then just transfer it back. You're missing out on a lot of opportunity, but not opening your eyes a little bit, and just knowing that you're going to see wrapped Bitcoin everywhere. And Merlin just has their own version of it because, you know, Jeff is now a signer for the wrapped Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is really looked after and sought after as another gateway in, because now you can take your Bitcoin, you can take your wrapped Bitcoin, and you potentially earn Bitcoin in a yield bearing asset like any exchange, right? Any Uniswap version or anything out there, you will now be able to potentially earn just with two different areas of Bitcoin, whether it's wrapped and Merlin. So there's a lot of opportunity you're kind of missing by being closed-minded like that.
Well, and also like
Mr. Filtered.
Yeah, and the thing is also you know, a little bit of patience. I think also with some of these products that are going to be rolling out, there's only one non-EVM signer in the wrapped Bitcoin DAO, and that's Merlin chain. So everything else is like Uniswap, Aave. Like I think there's a total of 10, and that's the only one that's in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I think that's huge, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything
and then,
there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have to remember too, Coinbase is wrapping Doge, it's wrapping XRP, and it's wrapping other thing to put it on EVM. So wrapping is going to be a new style. You just got to trust the wrapper, and definitely Merlin chain is. I mean, it's been running for an entire year without any hacks, right? People talk shit on multisig, but multisig has been the most, you know. So I mean, it's the number one place to kind of wrap assets. You're seeing that with wrap Bitcoin, and now you're seeing that with Merlin chain. So
absolutely.
All right, guys. That is our show today. We have 850 people watching, guys. Absolutely insane for a Monday. You guys are excited. We are excited. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Appreciate it. And tomorrow we go back to our normal set of hours. We're gonna be 11 a.m. Eastern. Back to our normal show, guys. I'm excited to kind of get back to it. And today was absolutely amazing, and I hope you guys really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing. Shout out to the Tokyo team for putting this together in terms of the Bitcoin Blitz. And remember, guys, you still have time. We don't do the raffle until the next morning. So if you go to the X Stream and first you got to download the Tokyo wallet from either Apple App Store or Google Play, depending if you have an iPhone or an Android. Download that app and then put that screenshot, take a screenshot, put that screenshot in the X Stream comment section, and we'll do the raffle in the morning and announce it. But yeah, appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. You know, all 850 of you guys, if you could check out our partners, greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is a DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem, focused primarily on runes, but they did just add alkanes. So these guys are building for the Bitcoin community, the ecosystem community. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. Use their swap because it's going to give you guys the most liquid and cheapest price for the token you're looking for, right? Alkanes is getting some, momentum for sure. And so that's why they added it. It's because you guys are asking for it. So if you visit satsterminal.com, you can check out the swap and give us some feedback. We'll send it over to the team. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need some Bitcoin and 6 Bitcoin blocks and a Bitcoin supported wallet, and you can place bets in their market place. You can go to their Blitz markets, which gives you a 10-minute countdown to select Bitcoin, Solana, or BNB to go up or down. And then you get 10 minutes to see if you got it right or wrong. So pretty interesting and fun. You know, it is degen, like kind of like leverage, right? So be careful there. But all different types of markets as well, guys. And they're going to have really new features, awesome new features coming as well. You can create your own markets and earn 1.5% of the total volume. So exciting stuff. Head over to betbtc.win to dive in there. And then Emblem Vault, they've been all about Agent Hustle, and so has everybody else lately. Utilize Agent Hustle for a research tool, man. I'm telling you, I've been utilizing Agent Hustle, and it's helped me kind of really kind of get some deep information. But you know, Emblem's going to allow you to port over, or jump over, I should say, your ordinals to different ecosystems. You can take your puppets, node monks, or frogs from Bitcoin layer 1 to abstract, Merlin to base, eventually Solana, and you're going to be able to use Hustle to help you do that eventually when they add the Bitcoin tech stack to it. Also, you can head over to OpenSea to check out their pre-sale of their rune for their TGE in September. That's going to be coming out. If you search Emblem Founder Vault, you can see the ERC 721. And once they get close to the TGE, they're going to give you guys instructions on how to get those runes into your Bitcoin wallet. Head over to emblem.vision to see what these guys are doing and building out. And then Artura Finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be launching on Hemi and Botonic's Bitcoin Layer 2s, guys. Hemi's backed by Binance Labs, so it should be a lot of opportunities in terms of points towards, you know, farming and stuff like that. And you might be able to double dip with Artura if you check out their platform. If you're not about leverage, you can just add liquidity to the platform and earn passively that way. But these guys are starting to get really connected with some experienced traders. If you head over to artura.finance, you can really learn about what they're going to be bringing. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles on there, like Dog and Billy and possibly Ordi and Sats as well. So exciting times for this team. So check them out at artura.finance. And then Fluid Tokens, they started off on Cardano, now on Bitcoin. They have launched their Aquarium tool, which is an amazing tool. You can actually earn Babel fees. The Cardano guys know what that is for sure, but you can earn there. And also they have their staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1. They were the first to offer that to retail users, guys. So if you have a collection, you want to get a staking vault started for your community, head over to their Discord. They have a team waiting for you guys to answer all your questions. Head over to fluidtokens.com. You can really dive into what they offer on the Cardano or Bitcoin side. And then Tokeo Wallet has been amazing this entire 2 weeks, you know, hosting these Bitcoin blitzes. They came over here to, you know, be a part of education, learning themselves, bringing the builders to you guys through us as well. And it's been exciting, but they have a smart wallet that's focused on multi-chain and user experience. So, you know, head over to Apple App Store, Google Play, download it, take that screenshot, put it in this Extreme comment section, and we'll do a raffle for 13,000 dog. We'll announce it in the morning, but also give us feedback. If there's something that you would like, you know, added, we'll let the team know. If you head over to Tokeo.io, you can really check out what they have to offer to the Bitcoin ecosystem and Cardano ecosystem, actually, and possibly some other ecosystems coming because they are multi-chain focused, right? And then finally, Merlin Chain, we just went over them, but, you know, like Shizzy said, Jeff's been doing amazing things. He's partnered with, you know, Wrap BTC as being a DAO member and a signer. You know, that gives strength to the MBTC side. You know, they offer 15% APR if you stake your Merlin Chain tokens, your Merl. You go to merlinchain.io and you can click stake to help secure the chain that way. Also, they have Dog of the Moon on merlinswap.org that you can swap for. So, you know, they are a part of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They were the first L2 out of this generation of L2s that launched in early February. So, you know, they've been a part of this innovation period, right? So you got to give credit where credit is due with that. So check out merlinchain.io. And lastly, our integrated partners in JUNGL, which was formerly known as Foxy. They've rebranded, but they, man, they have tons to offer. If you guys didn't see earlier in this episode, you know, go to the beginning. They were the first to get on stage with us, and they're going to help a lot of builders, guys. And we're going to pick the live streaming up most likely next Tuesday at 3 p.m. and go, you know, live stream Cypher Striker. We're not going to do it today. They're still waiting on updates there. And then Ordinal Hive is also the Ordinal aggregator marketplace. The cheapest ordinals around will be on Ordinal Hive, guys, and they have some amazing trader tools too. So we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners. Thank you so much.
Yep. Great job, man. If you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023, guys. You guys can really like learn about what was going on back then and get you kind of caught up to what is happening now without actually having to go through the drama of all the time, right? Going to we have articles like when Runes first launched, and it's just been such a journey, and you guys can catch out everything through our articles, Bitcoin ecosystem news. And then we have our VPN, Nord. I use it. I have multiple. I have every single internet hitting thing in my house. Everything that has a VPN on it, right? Everything. My kids' phones, my wife's phone, my wife's laptop, my laptop. Everything has a VPN on it, guys, because we like privacy here. I don't want to be going around giving people my IP address that can lead them to my house. Right now, you're seeing, someone in France and someone with an exchange. His daughter almost got kidnapped, right, for that exact reason. So you guys want to be careful out there. Definitely have VPN. Don't be giving sites your IP. It's not a good idea. Get Nord. It's my personal favorite. And if you guys are going to Vegas, guys, that is in about 7 days from right now. Get your tickets through us. It's expensive, but it was amazing experience last year, and it's probably going to be that again. Get your tickets through us if you're interested in buying. And then check out our store tab. We're going to be adding new stuff after Vegas. It's going to be absolutely insane, guys. We're going to add some amazing, cool stuff here. So check everything out here at OnChain Revolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.